All right, everybody, welcome back. What's up? Yeah, started the live a little late today. What's up, G? Welcome to the show. 4 people watching. Click that like button. Get rid of this. Yeah, out of this world. We are back for another little one. Um, just came up to shoot the shit. Not really have anything interesting to say. Besides, I got the job. Yeah.
He got the job.
I got the job.
What are you doing? What
I'm a,
job did you get?
I'm a tow truck driver, sir. Look at this.
You
See
doing
that?
tow truck shit?
Yeah. Look at that.
You're gonna like that, dude. There's good money in that if you get busy.
Yeah. Tow truck driving, man. I'm a tow truck driver now.
Hey man, I created a video that I think you would fucking totally like, and if you want to share it, that'd be cool as shit. Not necessarily today or tomorrow, but it's on the Mike Tyson nuclear war optics.
Oh, go ahead and share that right now. Why
And
not?
it's
What
and
the
it's
fuck,
and
man?
it's linked to the ritual of 9/11. Like a lot of people forget that these rituals, these humiliation rituals, lead up to bigger events. So it ties into the 9/11 ritual as well. But uh, the Mike, like you inspired me to do this video because of actually your decoding and some of the things we came up together with.
Cool, man. Drop that shit so we can listen to it. I'll watch it. I'm nothing better to do, guys. I'm here to shoot the shit. Didn't have a docket. Don't have fuck all.
I just actually got off
Just,
the phone with Veterans for Peace as well.
it's an open
Director.
panel. So anybody wants to join, just click the link and join on. Come on up. Oh, it's just a hangout, guys. Just want to say to everybody that I got the job, that I went for, like, I remember I go, well, for anybody who actually pays attention to the lore here. Yeah, I was looking for a job. I went out job hunting, and then I got an
When did you
interview.
start?
I started today, actually.
Oh
But
shit! So are you driving or are you just
yeah,
being like
I'm the driver.
a hand?
I'm do the whole thing all by myself.
Oh, so you got to hook it up and everything, huh?
Yep.
Are you guys doing are you doing impounds or repos as well?
No repos. Actually, pretty much all contracts with scrap yards to go pick up scrap cars, and the other ones are we're like um
Dude, that's a perfect gig for you, OTW. That's
yeah,
like
we
actually a
carry
perfect gig
skyjacks.
for you.
We also carry skyjacks and heavy loader equipment like fucking bulldozers and shit like that. We transport that. We transport skyjacks. We transport also lifts.
Well,
Those,
I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for you. Stoked for you, dude. That's fucking awesome.
yeah, so there's not just like the scrapyard. There's like so many other things that we like transport. So we're just like, we're literally a transport service when you come to think of it. Like, and in the wintertime, the job is like, we need just to move the cars that are not supposed to be parked. Let's say they're gonna go do the snow plowing on one side of the road. We're hired to go and fucking move the cars out of the way. Uh,
You know,
or the
I was
plowing.
thinking too. In this video, one of the things you and I missed when we were decoding. Do you know what was on the back of Jake Paul's the design on the back of his thing he wore out to the ring?
Now, what are you talking about?
Jake Paul when he walked out to the ring.
Yeah.
Do you know what the on the back of that shiny ass uh, robe he wore? Do you remember what it was?
Nope.
The skull and bones, bro. Think
No
President
shit.
Bush,
You saw
Trump, all the
that?
presidents. Bro, this video that I just dropped in the back, it goes in so much depth about the rituals, and then it jumps into the 9/11 ritual, and that's what I'm saying. I believe this ritual was to warn the world about nuclear optics, and then I jumped into the ritual with the 9/11 to show you guys how they're comparable.
Well, yeah,
But
because
it isn't.
remember I was saying that Jake Paul was the nuke. He was the manufactured
Yeah.
weapon. He was a nuke.
Right.
And I kept
That's what I'm trying to say.
emphasizing on the nuking of Ukraine or
The
something like
Ukraine
that.
and the colors and so yeah, this video I dropped it was inspired by you. This is the first video I've done since I've been sick. But yeah, if you guys want to check it out, it's always good from the beginning. But make sure you start it from the beginning, dude, because you don't want to miss anything in this one. Anything in this video.
I just ended it where you do your intro.
Okay. All right, my man.
I've seen the intro like 12,000 times. I'm all right, man. I'm good with the intro.
No, for sure. And hey, when you get a chance, check your chat to see if I'm blocked in your chat and also your messenger. Just whenever you get time.
You're not blocked on Messenger.
Something is. Anyways, this video was inspired by your
Let me
decode.
play the video first, so I'll do that later.
Okay.
Zebra.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the world has witnessed another ritual. Now remember, 9/11, the Twin Towers, was one of the biggest rituals. We're going to go into that. But with the Jake Paul Tyson fight, the humiliation ritual was before us. We've seen John Cena, The Rock, many others involved in these humiliation rituals. A transition of powers is in play, and we are about to see another event, 9/11-esque, probably more than people can comprehend. Now again, in these rituals, they have to tell you the optics before they go and play. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing prophecy being fulfilled at the highest rate. We are witnessing a beast system being put in play, a police state world, NWO. I used to say minus Hulk Hogan, but they brought his bitch ass in with vaxxer ass Trump. Again, the optics are high. I'm Snafu Snaps. If you want to help me, hit the PayPal Snafu Snaps or Snafu Snap 007 Cash App. But most of all, keep being you, the crew, the glue. Let's get into some optics. Much love.
Oh, I'm feeling beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
What's your prediction?
Vicious win.
Vicious win. Thank you, Dad.
Love you.
Love you too.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we witnessed, there,
Skull and Bone
the
with the
Mike
mask
Tyson
on.
humiliation rituals. Now, as we know, Jake Paul and other celebrities, all of them involved in the ritualistic nature that we're witnessing. Now, does this remind you Skull and Bones, right? Kind of like George Bush and all the other presidents. Interesting optics, right? Also, during the night of the fight, the Pentagon fell 7th audit in row, but says progress made. So you look at some of the optics during the time of these. Also, there was a supermoon during the time of this fight. Okay? Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the optics of nuclear war and what's happening. Sometimes they have to tell you before it goes down.
Why is he manufactured and why are you for real?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you can expand on it. I mean, can you give me...
It's just what I
It's just
said.
that, all right, that's cool.
Whatever he wants to think, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but the deadliest weapon on the planet is manufactured, and that's a nuke.
So last night, after, a day ago, 2 days ago, we finally heard that the president had given Ukraine the go-ahead to use these U.S. long-range missiles at Russia. Ukrainian troops launched an attack against a Russian border region with 6 U.S. long-range missiles. This comes after, again, Putin approved the updated doctrine lowering the threshold for the use of nuclear weapons. How many times has this guy given us a red line and said, don't cross this or it will be World War III. And we've crossed it every single time. For a man who's backed in the corner, a man who is a bloodthirsty killer, you don't keep backing him into a corner. Or what happens? Eventually, he says, I'll have absolutely no credibility, and his people who have just been bombed with U.S. missiles, which he just said 2 days ago will be an act of war, has got to say, you know what? The worst thing I can do is not act, because I'll lose all credibility in my own country and throughout the rest of the world. We have entered a moment of madness. What Joe Biden did is impeachable. Who launches 62 days before you're out of the office? Who starts World War III? By the way, there's a couple of other things you should know. This isn't the only thing going on. There's been a couple of other things. First of all, they cut some telecommunication cables. Who? We don't know, but we suspect the Chinese. The Chinese ship Yi Peng is the main suspect in an investigation now on who cut 2 underseas telecom cables between Finland and Germany. Why would you cut cables between Finland and Germany? Well, if you're going to restore the Soviet Empire, Finland was part of that Soviet Empire. They've been the ones saying, please stop all this madness. That was cut. Oh, also the telecommunications lines between Sweden and Lithuania. Sweden was an allied. Lithuania was an Axis. Lithuania was under Soviet rule as well. The ship sailed right over the cables when they were cut 8 a.m. on Sunday and 2 a.m. on Monday. Gang, things could be different by lunchtime. Pray for your country. Pray that Vladimir Putin does not strike a NATO country, even with a conventional bomb. Pray that this madman will listen to Donald Trump and realize this is over in 62 days. But then again, the guy wants to collapse the United States of America. As I told you, if Trump wins, one of the things I'm very worried about is terrorism and war. That the left is so insane that they have this, if I can't have you, no one will. That they've been backed into a corner. They have everything riding on it. They've got to bring it down before Trump gets in. It was the worst case scenario. Pray the bloodthirsty madman in Russia is more sensible than this senile old bastard in the White House.
The Soviet Union will be pleased to offer amnesty to your wayward vassal.
The Soviet Union? I thought you guys broke up.
Yes, that's what we wanted you to think.
Must crush capitalism.
It means without the rule of law, anarchy, the end of civilization, coming soon to an America near you.
America can't collapse. We're as powerful as ancient Rome.
Homer, meet the Springfield Preppers. What would you do in the case of an EMP?
Electromagnetic pulse.
A burst of radiation that knocks out every electrical system in the country.
Impending doom.
What you reading, Dad?
Honey, everything's fine. There's nothing to worry about.
When things go south, the sheeple will clean out every supermarket in town.
Typical sheeple. So, what have you learned so far from our post-apocalyptic movie marathon?
Guys who call themselves preacher or deacon are very bad. Water is money, unless gasoline is money. And even though lots of things are razor sharp, no one ever shaves.
Hollywood has taught you well, my son.
Here it is, Homer. The Springfield Preppers' top-secret bug-out retreat.
Wow! Your end of the world is better than my during the world.
Homer, we all know America's collapse is about 3 months away.
6 weeks at most.
There's always one alarmist. Anyway, when the 4 horsemen ride, we want you and your collaterals right here with us.
Hidden all our supplies behind a fake wall.
It's not the basement look cleaner.
See? These are our bug-out bags. In here, it's everything we need to survive.
Survive what?
The looming kablooey.
It's reassuring to see you're aware of the future, but this is all a little creepy.
Creepy? Marge, the apocalypse is coming. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe never. But it's coming. And soon.
I'm going to bed.
An EMP? You know what that means?
Hand scissors.
I'm hungry.
Look, you can have potato chips now, or if you wait 10 minutes, you can have all the brains you can eat.
I want both.
Добрый день, прошу вас. Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги. Мы с вами проводим сегодня плановые мероприятия. Это совещание так и называется. Постоянное совещание по ядерному сдерживанию 2 раза в год. Оно проводится. И в сегодняшней повестке дня у нас вопрос, связанный с обновлением основ государственной политики в области ядерного сдерживания. Наряду с военной доктриной это документ, в котором официально определена и детализирована ядерная стратегия России. Прежде всего зафиксирован базовый принцип применения ядерного оружия, а именно использование ядерных сил – это крайняя мера защиты суверенитета страны. Подчеркну, мы всегда в высшей степени ответственно подходили к таким вопросам. Хорошо сознавая, какой колоссальной силой обладает это оружие, стремились укрепить международно-правовую базу глобальной стабильности, не допустить расползания ядерных вооружений и их компонентов. Сегодня ядерная триада остается важнейшей гарантией обеспечения безопасности нашего государства и граждан, инструментом поддержания стратегического паритета и баланса сил в мире. Вместе с тем, мы видим, что современная военно-политическая обстановка динамично меняется, и мы обязаны это учитывать, в том числе возникновение новых источников военных угроз и рисков для России и наших союзников. Важно прогнозировать развитие ситуации и, соответственно, адаптировать положение документа стратегического планирования к нынешним реалиям. За последний год специалисты Министерства обороны, Министерства иностранных дел, аппарата Совета Безопасности и других ведомств провели глубокий всесторонний анализ, оценили необходимость корректировки наших подходов к возможному использованию ядерных сил. По результатам этой работы предложено внести ряд уточнений в части определения условий применения ядерного оружия. Так, в проекте основ расширена категория государств и военных союзов, в отношении которых проводится ядерное сдерживание. Дополнен перечень военных угроз, для нейтрализации которых выполняются мероприятия ядерного сдерживания. На что еще особо хотел бы обратить ваше внимание. В обновленной редакции документа агрессию против России со стороны любого неядерного государства, но с участием или при поддержке ядерного государства предлагается рассматривать как их совместное нападение на Российскую Федерацию. Также четко фиксируются условия перехода России к применению ядерного оружия. Будем рассматривать такую возможность уже при получении достоверной информации о массированном старте средств воздушно-космического нападения и пересечении ими нашей государственной границы, имея в виду самолеты стратегической или тактической авиации, крылатые ракеты, беспилотники, гиперзвуковые и другие летательные аппараты. Оставляем за собой право применить ядерное оружие в случае агрессии против России и Белоруссии как участника союзного государства. С белорусской стороной, с президентом Беларуси все эти вопросы согласованы. В том числе, если противник, используя обычное оружие, создает критическую угрозу нашему суверенитету. В завершение отмечу, что все уточнения являются глубоко выверенными и соразмерными современным военным угрозам и рискам в отношении Российской Федерации. Давайте приступим к работе. Слово министру обороны Андрею Армовичу Белоусову.
Now, like I said, 9/11 was a ritual in itself. Just like when Monograph does his fantasy of rape and kidnapping on children and all the weird shit that goes on. But the fact is these ritualistic fucktards, as we say, put it in your face. Listen very closely. Y'all remember the footage with President Bush? And listen to what the teacher is saying. Still planes, kite. Just listen. Very odd optics. And again, just like Jake Paul said, he's a nuke. Is there more messaging that they have to always tell you before things happen. The optics are high.
Open your book up to lesson 60 on page 153.
The First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the czars in Russia and of making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergences caused by the agents of the Illuminati between the British and German empires will be used to foment this war. At the end of the war, communism will be built and used in order to destroy the other governments and in order to weaken the religions. He says, quote, the Second World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists. This war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism will be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel and Palestine. During the Second World War, international communism must become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would then be restrained and held in check until the time when we would need it for the final social cataclysm. Not only one world war and two world wars, but here comes the Third World War. He says, and I quote, the Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agents of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. Yeah, that's what he says. The war, this was 1925. Please understand that. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. That's what it says. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm in which, in all its horror, will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin and savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then, he says, everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization and the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowledge where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer.
What's up, Patrick?
Hey, man. I'm just listening to the clip that Snafu dropped backstage when he came here earlier.
So what can I do for you going forward, man? Because I once again this is on the back, just so you're aware of me going over to the Slackottian hole.
Okay.
To once again be whipped and abused and beaten because I'm like a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, Christos
while attempting.
that.
Say again.
I said Christos was mentioning that just almost like fucking a minute ago in chat.
Yeah, I'm choosing to willingly play the fool and sacrifice myself once again for the truth, metaversally. So that leads me to, after being gaslit and thrown out and talked over and obfuscated and deflected from the truth and projected on and ganged up on, culted, if you will, it occurred to me, maybe I need to focus on helping OTW or others who actually are like caring with me, who are actually like real and honest, who actually will like be honorable and like talk about truth, whether they like it or not. They'll at least like talk about it and focus on maybe changing themselves or their life to get better and do better and be better. It occurred to me, why am I wasting my time, energy, attention at all attempting to try to, because as much it's really just my fixation, and need to like either be entertaining or be entertained, and then part of the time I'm like, but now I'm wasting my time, energy, attention over here. I'm indirectly giving them promotion. I'm running numbers up, and then OTW's over here. He's at least, I should be working with and helping the people who present themselves as allies of truth to some degree. Even if I don't, because OTW, I don't respect has levels for me. And I don't respect folks who follow the code and go along to get along and won't civilly disobey. But I understand that that's pretty much the norm. So I give you and others a buy on that, right? Like for me, and not for you, because I believe you have to change that and others have to change that along with me. But like for me not to just have no friends here or very few or like not be friendly. I don't want to say friends necessarily, because we haven't lived together, been on the ground together. We haven't gone to war together. We haven't been through it all together,
right.
But.
And I agree on that.
Yeah, we're friendly, we align with I think certain perspectives. We at least, if nothing else, see the value in coming together to talk about truth, either to be entertaining and do a broadcast or to actually grow and develop. So, yeah, man, I'd prefer, not that I want you here streaming all day and then keeping me on here longer than I need to be, but I'd almost prefer if you create a space to compete with Slackcot and the other slaves, at least for a limited time during the day, right? And then offer other folks an opportunity to co-create there while also, working some content, if you will, and finding your groove.
I got the job.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I also wanted to tell you that I think that's a pretty decent gig. I mean, me again, long as it's not taking cars for the cops, nope. If people agree to take cars and they're not going to pay for them and they're going to try to skip out on the bill, well, we're coming to get that. That's the way it works on the ground, and that's just kind of common law. So I'm not really down on that. I think that's a decent gig.
Yeah, but
hey, Dowdy Paul,
what I'm doing, hold on, Snaps.
You should go tow Jack's house away with him in it.
Well, I got good news for Paul. Actually, that's what I was gonna say. I was just 2 seconds before I showed up on OTW's. This is what's funny. If Jack treated you like shit just now, the Veterans for Peace directors called me literally about 20 minutes ago.
No, they didn't.
So, yeah, they did. I got his information. I got his email, and I told him all about Jack. So if he really shit on you, he's wearing the Veterans for Peace hoodie right now, which that was one of the things we talked about. Like, why is he wearing your guys' logo? Doing this new
You're
age
absolutely
shit?
right, Snafu.
And
every so often, Snafu hits on something. Well, he's oftentimes not completely wrong. He just maximizes and discredits himself. But he's got an intuition. The kid's got moxie, and he's definitely got an intuition and an instinct about him. So right. I think I see where you're going here. No, let me try to guess. Let me try to guess. Hold on. Let me guess first, because this is a fun game. Is it possible that maybe Veterans for Peace, much like if I ran Veterans for Peace, wouldn't want a insane deviant like Jack Talcott who can't make sense even if he tries to, promoting their brand and attempting to try to use them by saying he's a lifetime member of Veterans for Peace. He'll go anywhere and attach himself to any brand to try to scrape up some credibility, despite how much he tries to destroy that brand. It doesn't work for him or them. So I agree. If I were them, I would immediately ask Mr. Talcott to cease and desist using their name, just like him and Wizard. Do you know Wizard uses my name and the gorilla as promotion for his broadcast?
Yeah,
to
yeah,
15
that
people now.
gorilla.
Yeah,
thing,
he's been doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
He's been doing that ever since you called him out.
You people are sick. You really are. This is. I'm telling you.
But what I'm saying is the Veterans for Peace director
and
probably watched
I'm
your.
calling me out now, Snafu. I've been a bitch most of my life in the sense of, if I have someone before me, if you want to call me a bitch in a sense, if I have someone before me who's strong and powerful and inspiring and respectable and capable, I don't even buck up with them. I let them take the lead if necessary, you know? But with you motherfuckers, when I get in a room with you, you're so weak and cowardly, and then you try to act tough and buck up. It gets that demon in me, I guess is what it is. Like, I literally want to put hands on you folks because you would insult my and your intelligence and God and all the rest of our experience here to try to gaslight everyone in your experience that you're okay, when deep in your subconscious, you don't like who you are and you know you're not living a good life. Why? This is so fascinating to witness how their gaslighting demonic state of beingness replicates and calls that out of me, because I've been in situations where people acted out on me and I just put my head down and walk off because I go, you got that one. I really don't. I'm not as egoic and arrogant as motherfuckers claim, and I'm really not a violent person at all. And I've never experienced so many times in my life where I've wanted to reach out and touch motherfuckers on here because they were so weak and cowardly, yet projected false strength and would lie like a rug constantly. It's almost like, as much as we call it demonic, it's almost just like that's what's naturally supposed to be there as an animal. A willingness to kill or to stop other folks from lying to themselves and others and doing harm to themselves and others and potentially bringing down the tribe. Luckily, I'm not in a tribe with them. Luckily, I don't do tribalism. And luckily, I've learned some level of spiritual faith practice to avoid being too reactive with these people. But then I have to conclude, real quick, I have to conclude that the universe gets the same energy that I do and then says, watch how we destroy this motherfucker right in front of everybody's eyes to show everybody how you can't lie, cheat, and steal and project. Go ahead. I'm rambling on.
I was going to say, I'm going to clip this out because I was literally on the phone with the director, the head director, about 5-10 minutes ago before I showed up. You know, and we were talking like, hey, Jack, where's your Veteran for Peace? 1 minute he's shitting on you guys, next minute he's about it. So I find it funny because if he shit on you just now, which I'm hearing he did, everyone's saying, he literally was doing what me and this guy was talking about. They're going to be watching that. So they're going to watch your interaction, and this is what they don't want. Like, so that's what's hilarious about this. Like, literally, the directors are watching today.
Bro,
and if he shit on you,
Wizard came up to sit next to me. These people they say I have daddy issues. I have issues with whatever this personality type is that inhabits everyone, including my father around me. They all do the same things. He comes up on panel, sits right next to me, won't address me, then plays the power game along with Jack. You watched my father do it with Jack on me. It was so fascinating. You watched my father go to Jack's panel, sit next to him, and then laugh and giggle when they threw me out, or say, you know, it's really sad, Jack, because that's my son and I love him, but he just can't have civilized back and forth. You motherfuckers can't stop lying, and it makes me uncivilized. I want to put my hands on you. And that's something I don't like feeling it. It's not like me, but I have to conclude it's a natural response or reaction to lying, weak-ass, cowardly scum.
What you said, though, I'm going to have to say
raised his hand to me. I didn't even strike back. I just grabbed his arm and held him there. And I said, you see how weak you are, bitch ass motherfucker? Then he tried getting out and he tried kicking me. I just held him there. He couldn't even touch me like a little child. I said, you see all your false strength, cowardice, and bullshit projections that don't get you anywhere. And if I decided to right now, I could fucking crush you with one hand.
This is karmatic, though.
How many times they've you know, he spit in my face. These motherfuckers put hands on me, His brother pepper sprayed me. They wonder why I am the way I am. I'm not victiming and complaining. I've been lied to and abused and fucking projected onto and put on medication and dropped off at mental institutions, all by a bunch of weak, cowardly, lying, treasonous, tyrannical slaves. Who are
Wait, your dad pepper sprayed you? Your dad pepper sprayed you?
His brother did. And I'm not playing victim because where I come from, I did something that opened that door. I'm not going to lie, right? And I'm not saying that he used to be that way, but I was addicted to drugs at the time. I was a selfish, greedy motherfucker. There was nothing you could do for me. You couldn't be nice to me. I may still be that way. I'm not doing a Talcott where I was once lost and now I'm found and I'm infallible, you know? But he came down from where he was, took me out to get something to eat. My motive was, you know, I was using him indirectly to want to go get drugs. Right. So I told him, hey, bro, come down. Let's go have a meal. And then I want you to take me somewhere afterward. Right. And then he came and brought me for a meal, probably even paid for it because I was a broke ass bitch at the time, just like Talcott and the rest of them, you know, making excuses, entitled, selfish, greedy. And then he wouldn't take me where I wanted to go after getting food. So because I was starting to get dope sick, I started acting out, you know, and I said, you know what, bro, pulled me the fuck over and let me the fuck out. And that wasn't right, but he couldn't understand what I was dealing with, or you know, or maybe he couldn't, just didn't give a fuck, you know.
Well, I just wanted you to know that the directors of the Veterans were watching that.
A fucking anecdote.
Oh,
So the point is, he pulled over and let me out, and I threw the cup that I had back toward the car. Right, it didn't hit the car. If it did, it barely like the tire or something. So he called me back over, and when I stuck my head down to the window, he pepper sprayed me and then drove the fuck off.
Wow.
You know, I mean, for better or for worse, man. You know, is that maybe the best way to handle it? No. Does he, and it's weird because as he's died, I saw a picture recently and I've either morphing into him or I've always looked like him and it just hit me. And I guess that's why I've been a lot like him in certain ways. I'm not as violent though. I don't want to believe I am. I don't usually act or react first, but I definitely have that streak going through me where I'm tired of being lied to. I'm tired of being played. I'm tired of being taken as a sucker, you know, and I do get reactive sometime. And usually when I try to direct that reactive energy toward talking the truth of what I see, rather than physically trying to change somebody by scaring them or doing harm to them. Go ahead.
At least you're honest though about that, like, you know, whereas you're like, hey man, I was fucked up, you know, like at least you've never, that's one thing I'll say, you never not once like hid that you probably were fucked up, like, and you even say time, maybe they still am at times, blah blah. So I mean, that's the one thing that is respectable because you know so many people try and hide that, like if they're fucked up or had
being selfish and even somewhat greedy in the sense of you're chasing, right? Like you're like sometime when I get up, I'm like 7 days a week, 1,000 days straight. I'm like, we're going to get to something today, whatever that is. It don't really have to be money. You know, I'm in that mode, you know, or that momentum, right? It's good until it's not, right? You don't want to be a seeker and a chaser, but you go as well. What's happening? Is someone blowing shit up or
OPW is sucking your balls by using his
no, it's Christos.
Which I'm thinking on fire right now too.
So
it's on loop.
Yeah, bro, we don't need all that. Do I have to now?
Oh my
This
God.
is incredible. Do I have to do something now to stop this?
You're looping your fucking soundboard.
What the fuck is this guy?
Oh my God.
Where do you get these people, man? Where do you get these people?
But hey, Paul, in reality though, what you just said is exactly what Mr. Wong and I talked about.
No, but let me finish the thought, Snafu, because I think this is good for people. If they're sick and dysfunctional, they can remain sick and dysfunctional and still somehow succeed. If you get up every day with some seeking, chasing, desirous aspect of self, just fucking direct it towards something that's true and real as much as possible. You know, at least. If you're not going to practice at certain times, having that which I believe you should, and I do, right? Most of my time at this point is being at peace or at rest. But I have that aspect and that thing in me where, like a man should, you could argue, hunting, seeking, you know, we're getting up to get something, right? You got to get up, get out, get something, as they used to say. So you just direct that toward the truth, toward self-development, toward growth, toward co-creation and fellowship with others. That's all I do all day, every day. It's not even for the money. They give me money. What do I do with it? I just sit here. I live in I don't go nowhere. I eat the same thing every day, bro. So you can't claim I'm in love with the money. I only use the money to get what the fuck I need. The rest of it is doing what I need to do for myself and others. They don't have that. He gets up every day chasing numbers and money, and it never shows up. And I go, bro, don't you get it? I didn't start this, and I don't continue it chasing money and numbers. Do I like to see it when it shows up? Yeah, who doesn't? Is it an indicator at times of where we're at in the conversation and what's valuable? It can be. Doesn't have to be, right? But stop denying that a motherfucker's supposed to get up and have some seek in him. Seek the truth and you'll be set free. I don't care if that's from earthly bondage or from a financial freedom perspective. Seek the truth, seek to do and create and be part of something real, and I bet you some more is going to show up in your life. This ain't overly mystical. You got to help yourself to be helped by God. That's the part we keep as religionists, not me, them, wanting to keep forgetting, right? It's this and that. You got to be in the world, but not of it. The work still goes on here. Stop acting like because you ain't of the world that you don't do no work in the world. That's bullshit.
We're all worldly.
Well, it's like
to a
somebody
degree,
asked
bro.
me today-
It works together. The otherworldly works with the worldly. The non-physical works with the physical. Stop demonizing physicality in the world so you can avoid accountability and accept less for yourself. That's a fucking lukewarm, weak-ass, childish excuse for not doing and being and becoming more. And it doesn't fucking phase me for 3 seconds, and it's not washing with me. That's why I'm daddy, because I got to talk to motherfuckers like they're middle school children. Stop trying to bullshit me. I've been there. I lived it. I'm still here, motherfucker, and I can see and feel and understand. You ain't fooling nobody. Nobody wants to be broke. Nobody wants to be broke. Fucking people. There goes Christos again, lighting off fireworks.
Oh, my God.
Nobody wants to have no bitches, and I'm saying that to trigger because really you don't want any bitches in your life. You want a good woman. Maybe some of us want 2 or 3, but that's a whole other conversation. We'll see where that goes because we may not be right about that either. That's the nature, but maybe part of the
That's
nature,
trouble,
but maybe
man.
not.
That's seeking trouble, dude. 2 or 3 bitches? Fuck. One.
The point is, bro, is that, and maybe, I'm not going to ever regret. The point is, introducing myself to an interaction with Jennifer and going longer and longer. We've done a lot together in certain ways. There's more to do. We got work to do internally and with each other and in the world. But she's not going to be my forever and only if I want to have a family, which on some level naturally is going to come forth. I've already felt it. So what does that mean? It means we're going to have to somehow figure out life on life's terms, how to co-create with a woman, share a love and a connection, have experience, and then somehow incorporate the other aspects of beingness. That's called real life. And Mitchell and the other bitch ass motherfuckers who've never left their fucking suburban can't figure out that I'm talking about reality, not your fantasy fixation or how you want to be received and presented as. Most men in life don't have eyes for only one woman forever and always. That's why we're having so many issues in here, right? Most women don't have eyes for one man and one man only when that man's a bitch ass motherfucker long term, which most of yous are. Keith Talcott, Jack Talcott, Mitchell, and all the rest of you. You want to lie to yourselves and everyone else, and women don't respect that. They're going to say, why is your fucking bank account never heavy? Why is it always light? Why are you never doing anything or creating anything? Why are you always moping around like a sad fucking sack? Loser. Who wants to be a part of that? Nobody. It doesn't mean they're not going to be there for you to a degree. You motherfuckers are running a long-term game here where you're like putting up stats for the longest loser failure run ever. Cut the games. I'm somebody who's telling you it ain't even about the time frame. I was sitting in a fucking hole for 10 years, not going nowhere, not doing nothing except seeking fucking drugs and destroying myself because I didn't believe opportunity was available. Once I seen it, I ran with it to some degree, and there's still more I could do. And I'm wondering why the rest of you are lying on it. I'm wondering why the rest of you pretend like you're okay doing the broadcast to 10 people. You're okay with having one fat ass, ugly ass, sick ass bitch who don't even respect you. Shits on you in the fucking chat. I'm calling it as I see it. I don't care if you like it or not. The same way I call myself fat and ugly at times. Don't give a fuck. You act like everybody wants to be broke and have to come to Paulie Boy's chat and say, I got cancer, but I never asked for help. The fuck up. Tired of your fucking weak ass, lukewarm, fake ass presentments and excuses. I'm tearing that shit the fuck down because I'm not going to be part of creating a whole fucking other generation of weak ass, cowardly, lazy, procrastinating loser failures who sit online so they can create an alternate world to live in. Falsely codependent and disempowered slaves with each other, jacking each other, saying, everything's okay. We're great in here. Everything's great. You're not. You can't put $10 together to go get a fucking meal. You can't even go get land. You can't even grow anything. If I sent 2 people up over the hill, they're going to fucking wreck you physically because you're all so weak and cowardly and have no fucking wherewithal or will to act. Do we have to go down the list of places you're incompetent and incapable and not fortified and then want to make excuses on top of it instead of just call it the way it is because you ain't men? I don't have to say I got a huge fucking cock if that's not the case. It is what it is. I don't walk around online in an avatar world saying I got a huge horse penis. That's what you folks are proverbially doing, and it does not work. It doesn't wash for you. At the end of the day, you got to turn the camera off at some point and go back to your real life and real world, which is pathetic and pitiful. Stop the cap, as your boy here says. Stop the cope, stop the cap. We ain't buying it.
Cut the cap. Hey, Untrackable, what's up, man?
Yeah, thanks for having me up. Good to see everybody today.
Greetings.
Live long and prosper.
No, I'm just glad it happened today because the director of Veteran for Peace saw jack shit on you wearing the Veteran for Peace thing, and this is what they don't want.
So
Jack Talcott is a fucking scumbag lowlife because he's delusional, just like I was.
Well, I'm gonna send him the clip of what you said, where you said, "I'm sure Veterans for Peace doesn't want him representing them." Blah blah. Whatever you just said, like this is exactly what me and Mr. Wong were talking about. How Jack even claimed he's the new Jesus and all this other shit wearing the Veteran for Peace.
That's exactly why I don't get along with these.
The director's got to watch you today, you and his interaction, and this is exactly what we talked about. He's wearing a Veterans for Peace, shitting on people, doing his weird podcast. And so they don't want someone representing that. So this is perfect that he shit on you today, Daddy.
This is exactly why I always got to be the extreme negative person to off balance the toxic positivity and fakeness of this realm. So I had to coin another term, Nama slave, for a reason. Because I'm so sick of you fake ass, weak ass truthers pretending you only see the best in everybody else. What about everything else that we got to work on? You're going to ignore that because it doesn't feel good? Okay, you want to do Nama stay? I'm doing Nama slave. I see the slave inside of you that I see in me that has to be purged and corrected to do and be and have better. I say that's more valuable. Once you come to the conclusion we're all one self on the highest level, that means we're all a piece of God. Now, what the
Well, shit, I'm still in the submarine, dude. I'm still here, Daddy. You see my submarine? I'm still in the sub.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, all of a sudden, I'm getting cut out on my internet.
Yeah, you cut out. Just like
the point is, we're all a piece of God on the highest level. On the lowest level, you're a piece of shit pretending to be God. And it doesn't work. God doesn't have a money problem. God doesn't have a woman and relationship problem. God doesn't have a problem asserting who and what they are and creating a record for themselves that is eye-catching. If you do, then you're not God-like and you're not aligned with it. So why you keep claiming it to cope is your delusion. And you want to say, I'm an asshole for pointing out the quiet part out loud and what's obvious. The whole point of the scripture was motherfuckers who did what was challenging to them, didn't understand where it was going to lead, walked on faith, and were better off for it. Prospered because the universe was in alignment with them because they were in alignment with it. The Bible doesn't talk about motherfuckers following God and being sick and broke and having nobody and nothing and nowhere to go and having no career and no service and no solutions. It doesn't. Jesus without the miracles is Keith Talcott, a fucking hippie loser failure who stinks, who's not respected by anyone, who's a burden and a thorn in everybody's side and doesn't actually create any solutions for any problems we face. Stop the cap. Stop the cope.
Paul, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
What is it that you get out of clowning Jack Talcott?
Again, you want to misrepresent the narrative. I'm
Bro,
going to
he is a
clown
clown.
you now.
Whose
Yeah,
narrative?
that was a dumb
There's
question.
no clowning. He's clowning himself. I'm pointing it out. Stop spinning the fucking narrative, victim apologist.
Hey,
Why not just
Untrackable, I got a
Probably
question.
because you probably identify with him in his life, and you're already off the first phrasing of the narrative giving me a peek into your sub-psychology. I'm clowning him. He gets online every day and says everyone in his life hates him, says he's a broke loser, says he's Jesus living in a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house he's not going to pay his debt on. He clowns himself all day, every day. I'm pointing it out so he can stop it.
I'm saying,
Hey, Untrackable, the question should be, why are you questioning him on clowning when you're supporting a predator?
The
and a
question
delusional
should be,
idiot?
why is Jack Talcott, for the last 8 fucking years, according to his own words, a pathetic, embarrassing, lazy clown? That's the question that should be asked. Not why am I clowning him?
Right.
I visited.
That
I
was a
visited a
dumb
lot.
question.
I visited a lot of bubbles, and I've seen that the whole
So you
point.
support Jack? You don't
Snafu,
think he's
please,
delusional?
don't fucking drag this out longer than it needs to go. I'm already waiting with bated breath to interrupt him and point out his nonsense. I don't need you making it take longer. Go ahead, please, sir. Let's
Yes,
dispel
thank
all
you.
myths and rumors and nonsense real quick. It's going to be real easy.
No, I'm just saying I visited a lot of bubbles,
Right.
and I find out that within those bubbles, yes, there are clowns, but the people that have bubbled themselves and are trying to prove their points, they wind up doing this beatdown on the ones that they disagree with, or the ones that they look like tryhards or misinformers or lost souls trying to like capitalize off of this message. I see a lot of concentration, and you know what they say, they like live rent free in your head. You're spending so much time talking about him, and when you go over there, like I understand when you guys go face to face, you know, you're gonna argue your
Why
points.
do you keep making it about him? This truth is relative to all of us. There is no him, there is no you, there is no I. There's one self having an individuated.
So you going on him? I'm not defending him. Yes, I've visited over there. I've visited a lot of places. I'm just saying you spend a whole lot of time. I just listened to 5
spend
minutes.
my whole life, if you want to be technical, focused on consciousness and awareness when I'm not at peace and just in myself, living and enjoying the day or whatever I'm
Just spent
listening to or watching.
Talcott, you know what I'm saying?
Again, it's not about Jack Talcott. Jack Talcott is a man. So when I talk about Jack Talcott, I'm talking about men, including myself. I'm talking about the dynamics of inherent hierarchical power and value, co-creation. It's just related to him and his life, and there's no separation between him and his life and the rest of us. So I don't see it as just talking about him. He's just the most extreme example of these dynamics.
Just another specimen like any other.
People that they are not men. You know what I'm saying?
Because they're not. And it needs to be made clear that this is who and what a man is and what we do. And this is the antithesis of it and how we get where we've gotten. That's the main theme. And everything we talk about or focus on is going to come back to that on some level. If you let it be. And I do. Because I see how it's more important now than ever. Why? Because I'm alive here and now. Why? Because we're at a certain inflection point in history. That's obvious. Why everyone else is not seeing and feeling that and working on that is beyond me. Really none of my business at that point. I'm not interested what other people are interested in or not. I'm interested in self-awareness, self-growth, self-development. And the way that I do that or communicate that at times is by yelling and screaming and focusing on certain dynamics in between just having a regular non-versation about it. Right? So is it maybe the best modality for me to stay the healthiest? Probably not. Do I see it as part of my passionate purpose where I get meaning and value and I'm entertained and interested? Absolutely. So it may be self-indulgent. I'm sure it is to a certain degree. The bigger picture, the macro idea is what I'm talking about. The truth doesn't change and it relates to all of us, no matter who I'm focusing on at the time. I don't see the separation. I'm literally talking about aspects of me I know about that relate to him and vice versa. It's so scary. I not only don't see a separation, I see the same person over and over again, doing the same things, the same results, and either getting it or not. You know? It might be part of my addiction. Yelling and screaming and focusing on these things and being passionate with a care and laying it all out passes time and probably gives me dopamine hits. I won't even deny that. Again, it doesn't change the truth and how it can relate to all of us, and the fact that, if anything, it's just going to be a test and challenge for me to practice doing what I do here in whatever way I perceive is effective or interesting to me and others, and changing that if necessary, or compartmentalizing that from my regular life, if that makes sense. Thoughts on any of that? I probably cut you off. I should let you speak more, because I'm not necessarily disagreeing, I don't think, with where you may be going. I don't want to presume.
Yeah, I had to have a conversation with somebody right quick, so I might have missed a bunch of it. But when
Is it a woman?
It was my daughter.
Okay. Can I ask what the conversation was about, or are you not willing to be open about? That's fine. I'm not.
I keep it right here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Keep it right here, but ignore what I'm saying and interacting with me to keep it somewhere else. And then when I ask about somewhere else, keep it right here. Okay.
I had a real life issue to handle. Like you said about, you come on here, you put on this super.
But what was the point of me continuing on talking and rambling if you just cut your camera off and go away? Who am I talking to at that point?
Hey,
that shows you how much you give a fuck.
Hey, welcome. Exactly, because that's the bottom line here, right? Is like I don't want to presume, but I'm getting the vibe that you're not understanding what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And when I try to make you aware now, you weren't even here to hear it. And then what's the upshot here? Like, where does this go? Should I just like come on camera or not come here at all? And then when I do, just sit in a lotus position and practice peace and enlightenment and bliss?
Nah.
I guess I just don't do a broadcast then. I don't show up here because I don't come here to make this a practice of how to stay quiet. I do that in my life where it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to do it on a fucking broadcast on camera. It actually makes more sense to yell and scream and point things out and keep a passionate, entertained, enticed audience who's interested, who's kind of moving with the dopamine hit, if you will. You know,
hey,
I would think.
What did you mean untrackable when you said real life? Because when I expose these scumbags, as you know, I just got off the phone with the director of Veterans for Peace. That's real life. Jack Talcott is representing them in a manner he shouldn't. And what happened to Paul today is proof. While he's wearing the Veteran for Peace shit. So what do you mean his little thing is not real life? Whether your daughter, I get
Jack Talcott's insane. And that's why I'm wondering why this guy's like even phrasing that I'm clowning him. Jack Talcott's insane. He's harming himself and others. And I'm just wondering what you think, presuming you care at all about him as a being, you know, what you think that should be done about that, if anything. Because I won't disagree with you that technically I'm the biggest fool in the room because I have some level of consciousness and awareness, and I'm attempting to convince an insane person he's insane instead of just watch the train wreck and enjoy it like everyone else and even hype him up to do it. I am an idiot.
Well, I mean, is that not the thing? The doing the same thing multiple times and thinking you're going to get a different result. Isn't
right,
that
but
insanity?
I don't expect necessarily a different result. I'm humoring myself and the situation and the audience, and I'm giving us something to do. I don't necessarily expect a different result. I'm open to it, but I pretty much presume that Jack Talcott is an extreme case of insanity. He's probably never going to be healed or rectified. That's kind of disturbing to have to witness somebody who's going to be in disconnection for the rest of their life and coping that they're aligned with God while having no results. I guess it's going to be something that we witness if it doesn't change in order to show us maybe that we should change, including myself. I don't think anybody wants to wind up alone and broke, losing their house. Child and wife won't talk to them, but have to claim that they're God and that they're loving and peaceful while they're obviously angry, reactive, and miserable and can't explain anything they're doing and why it's beneficial. So yeah, man, I mean, I guess I found myself at some point caring more than I expected for a guy who I can also at the same time say is absolutely an asshole and insane and is not a good person, right? Because I've seen him willing to just lie and lie again. I think he's insane enough to know that's why he's not completely insane to me. Because I really believe he knows he's full of shit. He just doesn't want everyone else to know it. And he's insane because he doesn't believe we can all see through his garbage. That's where he's crazy. He really thinks as long as he just keeps saying certain things that no one else is going to see him for what he is. And he doesn't care about the fact that he knows he's full of shit and it's gotten him horrible results. And he's just rather cope on, hey, I'm going to be me, do what I do. I'm not going to change. And somehow everything's going to be okay. Maybe it is, and I'm wrong. In which case it's still entertaining along the way because I get to come at it with a conventional common sense perspective that most people can relate to. And if he's right and onto something, we all get to be shown that there's more to the universe here. I don't contend. I'm living it. I'm somebody who's lazy and fat. I'm somebody who doesn't really want to work hard. I had to at some point to pay the bills. I then left an apartment that I was putting away a whole bunch of money to go live without anything because I wanted to see what I needed and didn't need. And I wanted to just get back to center and to basics. By doing that, I started to work part-time and do a broadcast, and it's been immensely successful without me having to contract or sell my soul or have an employer or anything. I'm living proof of a dynamic that he's on the walk with, but I don't think he's completely seeing the point because while I was doing all this, I had to reconcile to myself, Paul, you're being fat and lazy. Paul, you're procrastinating. Paul, you're making excuses. You're making justifications. You're projecting. You're rejecting. You refuse to step out on faith and stop being a fucking coward. Why do you think I took the plates off? Never had the license or registration, got the car and started moving around. I wanted to get arrested or prove that I had rights and freedom. I did that. I've done it over and over again. How we can deny what I'm doing and how it relates to all of us is beyond me at this point. What game is everyone playing with me? I don't see myself separate from all of you. You see me as separate from all of you, is the experience I'm having. While they tell me I'm egotistical and narcissistic, your rights don't matter. Your ability to travel, your ability to be a co-creational, successful person, to be entertaining and inspiring and be good at what you do. The fuck is this? And again, I can't deny that as much as I'm baffled, I'm fascinated and entertained by this whole thing. And that makes me somewhat, I guess, crazy. I'm basically hitting my head against the wall the large part of the time and then letting the sounds and the echoes influence the rest witnessing to not hit their head against the wall. As odd as that is, you know? And I guess along the way, I'm you know, reflecting and doing introspection, and I'm going, okay, today I'm going to do this kind of broadcast because I'm kind of like over yelling and screaming and focusing on these people directly, as you say. But indirectly, the conversation's still the same. I don't see any other purpose to being here, right? Other than being a good man, pursuing greatness in truth, standing for what's right, surrendering the rest, and then developing a character that we can look in the mirror and be somewhat pleased by and give away to the world and have something come back that is redeemable. I mean, is any of that resonating with you? Does that make sense? Do you see how that works for all of us? And you know, that there's some, I guess, pure intention or care there. It's not all just to clown people and for me to be a dick.
I mean, yes, I do see that. But the preaching of the principles of striving and thriving, I think that's a good thing. But finding a scapegoat to be like, hey, this is an example of, and then to, you know, to have an example isn't necessarily a bad thing. But to, you know, as long as they keep going, rather than just have that example that you can explain that it's out there, to do the level of, I don't even know how to say it, just the constant bringing up of that same example rather than leading back to the principles that you do have, you know, but spending so much time saying that this other person is wrong or anything like that, like you're not spending time on preaching your your stuff. You're
I
spending
mix
time.
I mix the two. They're interrelated. So I
Okay.
basically expose myself to these people and I allow myself to get, as they call it, triggered. It inspires me to talk about an idea that relates back to me and what I'm doing and not doing. If that makes sense. So I'm aware of the loops of life. I know when I come on here, I'm going to witness certain people and it's going to make me talk about certain dynamics that are either relative to me and the audience at the time or not. Either way, it's somewhat interesting and entertaining, if nothing else, because we're looping. People seem to be fascinated by that. Just like they watch goldfish swim in a circle. They'll go by a tank and watch the fish swim in a circle and go, wow, this is interesting. It's in its lack of interest.
I fully enjoy coming in people's individual little fish bowls and swimming around and meeting and greeting and doing all the stuffs and things about what this is about, and sharing a little about myself and maybe what I believe, maybe have a little conversation with somebody. But I'm somebody who hops from fishbowl to fishbowl to fishbowl to fishbowl, and I'm okay with that as far as this online thing goes, because I'm not so attached to somebody that somebody else might even say that I'm cohorts with them, because I have conversations with them when I'm available to talk to somebody. So when I'm up here and I'm talking to you guys, I'm up here talking to you guys. I'm talking to you, that's what I'm about. So that's why I ask so many people. It's like, why does this person have to be the, or and it's a different person in every single bubble, or multiple people in different in the bubbles that become the center of attention to prove points, rather than have multiple, have worldly, have hypothetical examples, rather than just, hey, everybody go bash so and so. That's why I asked
Again,
the
you're
questions.
seeing it as bashing instead of accountability to truth and fellowship. I don't know why that is. You have appeal to emotion and some false authority.
That's what somebody was saying earlier. It's like there's nothing you can do except for keep wasting your time on your channel talking about him, or going over there where he's going to keep shutting you down. You know what I'm saying? That's, to me, that seems like a waste of your time.
I mean, again, it's like, that's, I guess, a subjective experience. What's the difference between me going over there or referencing him on my broadcast and you being here talking to me in OTW right now? I mean, someone somewhere could argue this is all a waste of time based on their value system,
That's fair enough.
So,
but
I'm fascinated by consciousness and awareness, psychology and sociology. Why do humans do the things they do over and over again from the beginning of time? And I can talk about it forever. And me relating it to or be inspired by characters I've experienced here, to me, is part of the natural sort of rhythm of things. It's just the way things are, right? It's like you go to Marcus Aurelius, he's got a page in the book where it talks about every person he's ever met and what he's learned to do or not do from his experience with them. It's a little bit of that for the audience, right? I go, hey, this is Pathetic Warrior. Look at how he does this. Look at how he does that. Don't do that. That makes you this. Isn't that true? And they go, yeah, because we're all oneself, right? The same thing with Nacho Quifa, the same thing with Snafu Slave, the same thing with me. I'm not exempt from these dynamics. Right. Yeah, everyone here is a character on the world stage and on these panels, and they're subject to the analyses of their character and cause and effect and what they do and what they're being and what they have or what they've created and not. That's supposed to be up for judgment and discernment, so you could discern who has character, who's reasonable and sensible, articulate, capable and competent, and who's not. You want to stop the process that's been going on from the beginning of time of establishing inherent hierarchical power and value systems to develop communities and conversations that lead to conversions and co-creations? That's all I'm doing. I'm constantly shit testing myself and everyone else, analyzing the outcome, and then being brought into interactions with others to do more work here. I live a realized, actualized, synchronistic life and lifestyle. I'm not just online jacking off, to pun intended, with Talcott, right? It's the bigger picture and understanding and reasoning and process that I believe and see is going on here. And majority of it, you can argue, is grist for the mill. every so often there's a piece of artwork that comes out the other side.
Right. Not to mention the fact that Jack is like a meme fountain. It's like, if hey, Christos agrees, right? I mean, it's like, it's insane. Like, the guy is a living meme. So it's like, that also very entertaining, if you ask me. I mean, if you weren't around during the TCC, back when that channel was around and did clips on Jack Talcott, man, it was like, this guy was a genius. It was insane. It did great work.
He's also denying the fact that in this universe, you tend to get back people who are who and what you are, or people in need of who and what you are. Jack is both. He is who and what I am in many ways. The character personality analysis is like very close in certain ways, and he on the other side needs everything that I have and am when it comes to the reconciliation and resolution, or at least the somewhat direction of those qualities or lack thereof. He's admitted that when he first came to me. Paul, you have numbers, you have a decent broadcast, you have a core audience, you're somehow making a living, right? You have a community and a family, either directly or indirectly. I don't have children, right? I have a woman who's come into my life. It's like, are we going to deny that? Because I'm supposed to be humble enough to deny reality, I guess. Like, I'm humble before the truth and the creational force, which is why I somehow have turned my shithole of a beingness in life into some level of result. So he's not. And that's what's going on here, right? Like, I don't believe anyone's irredeemable. Maybe that's my mistake. Because now I've invested in an overt, covert narcissist, which is why they tell you not to deal with him and not to treat him. I see those same qualities in myself, at least at one point. And then I've just become aware of it and I've redirected it. And now I watch myself and tell on myself to avoid being that. Right? So I really do believe it's possible that through this process, you're telling me to neglect and negate. Jack's going to get so checked and challenged and tested and humiliated with the facts that at some point he's going to have to concede to what life on life's terms demands of him. It's a great process for everyone who's been part of it if you let it be. Right? It's part of hurting their feelers. And it should stop if you let it be, right? And that would just trick them out of their power and position. That's what they want subconsciously. They want to remain loser failures and have an excuse and have a whole bunch of folks like you who tell me to stop talking truth and growth and development so they can remain as they've always been, but somehow expect to get different results. That's the insanity. I've gotten different results in my life. I'm astounded by my results. I've done better in certain areas than I thought I could ever at one point. What else am I supposed to do? I could just go, hey, look at me. I'm Pimp Daddy in my trailer and buy jewelry and pretend, whatever. And I go, no, this is amazing, guys. Look at this. If I could do it, you could do it. Hey, this is what happened. This is what it is. And they're like, stop doing that. Stop talking about other people who inserted themselves in your life and won't go away. You must not notice. You may not watch me, but there are times when I don't go over to Jack Talcott's for weeks and months on end. And of course, in pure narcissistic fashion, he meanders his way back over and uses his love and his childlike persona to get me invested and wrapped back in. So I indulge it and I humor it only to come to the same outcome and result. I got to tell you, I've been doing this process in my own life with many people. My father's one of them. Every so often, he meanders back into my life and says, hey, what's going on? How's your work? And I go, you mean the broadcast? Yeah, that's your work. I go, you're still projecting your reality onto me and don't care about how I perceive it. There's our problem.
It's funny.
My father doesn't understand him and Jack Talcott are the same person from an opposite side. Jack Talcott refuses to do work in this life and be successful. My father only focuses on work and being successful in this life. There's a middle fucking ground, and I try to practice it. It's called being competent, capable, and co-creative, and also realizing we have a feminine aspect, artistic aspect to self, right? That's the co-creative aspect. So yes, being competent and capable, doing the work inside and outside of yourself, being successful is important for a man here, right? It's also important to see the life and the process as a bigger picture, sort of artistic experience and co-creation, which I believe I do. I have to tell you, I don't see myself at all as a perfect or completed picture, when put up against, not that it's a competition, because I'm on my own journey with the creator and the force, and ultimately it doesn't matter if I'm doing better or more actualized and realized than other people. If I don't seek completion, I will be destroyed. I've already had the clue on that. Right. And you may be a part of, in your own way, reflecting back to me what the universe has reflected back to me on what more self-care may be. Okay, Paulie boy, you're fascinated. You're interested in this. It inspires you to kind of pipe up and go at it. But we've seen it and heard it all before. You know, is it really new to anybody, even if there's new viewers and all the rest of it? You know, should you be yelling and screaming and acting out, you know, for an audience? And it's like, yes and no, right? Because I do a broadcast, I do content. It's got to go somewhere. So I'm finding more of a middle ground at times, I think. You know, and it's taking a while.
Well,
what now?
Reminds me of the well, it kind of relates to an allegory in my mind. I'll say it that way, where you got you as the roadrunner and Jack as the wild coyote, repeating over the same thing, but always getting the same results. But I mean, I'm talking about the wild coyote, right? Always not being able to catch up with the roadrunner, or always getting caught up into his own traps. And you see the roadrunner traveling freely. You know, I'm sorry. I just like the allegory was so there.
Mitchell's down in chat with one of his 50 alternate accounts, pretending we don't know it's him. Mitchell, if you're not a coward, just get up here and have the back and forth. I don't care what you say about me. You twist every narrative that comes forth. You're a jealous, envious hater, and you try to devalue and demean me. It doesn't matter how much I've helped you, worked with you, given to you, cared for you. It doesn't matter how much you said that I'm a great guy at times and that you're inspired by me and I've helped you. You're a unthankful, ungrateful, projecting, broken child like another Jack Talcott, essentially. There's no long-term interaction. See what I mean, Mr. Untrackable? We're now, I've surrendered Jack Talcott in this moment. We're no longer talking about him. And look what just popped up. Another version of Jack Talcott, as if you can get away from these dynamics online, especially.
That's what I came to ask. I wanted to see if OTW could open up the ring for you and Mitchell, because I saw Mitchell with his 100 different accounts, and I'm like, why doesn't Mitchell just come up here and go and let you guys just go? Because I want to hear Mitchell.
Yeah, but there's no defense. Mitchell is projecting and he's coping, and he's not accepting reality.
He's tripping for the last few days pretty bad. So I know
Mitchell's jealous and envious of the fact that there's like, you know, 3,000 to 5,000 pieces of foreplay that come through every month in gifts, that I do an inspiring, entertaining broadcast, that I'm back in the algorithm, that I'm suing motherfuckers with handwritten claims, that I've got half a dozen dismissals, that I'm somewhat of an attractive, interesting, inspiring character and presentment. It burns him up inside because he's none of that. He's kind of dopey. Right? He's kind of like, he can't keep his thoughts together. He just kind of sits there and smokes dope. You know, he's like a fucking moss on a tree trunk.
Let me ask you, since Mitchell's not here,
he's
maybe
broken, doesn't create value regularly, has to beg the old women to give him stuff. And then he wants to project onto me and my sexuality. I didn't get with Jennifer to get with her daughter. When I first met her daughter, I said, this is good. I'm going to have to live in this house. I'm not attracted to her physically. As we've spent more time together, and as is what is natural, right, and instinctual and intuitional, we've developed a connection. And she's not underage. She's in her 20s. I'm 35. There's nothing unnatural or inappropriate about that, if I'm being honest and real, and Jennifer's not down on it. I've not made any advances on her. I've not projected anything onto her as an obligation. I've not attempted to manipulate her. If anything, I've held my tongue when it comes to her interactions with her boyfriend, who she keeps saying is a bitch, who she keeps saying she doesn't relate to, who she keeps saying things like, I need to get myself someone in their 30s to date. It's almost as if she's becoming more and more into me because of the man that I am. And is it possible the universe brought us together to maybe at some point me have a child with Jennifer's daughter? I know that's crazy. I know that's scary if it happens. Did I do it? Did I with my Svengali ways do it?
I got 2 questions though, Paul.
You guys are constantly looking to make me either your idol to worship as your hero or the devil incarnate. And I'm so tired of it because that's you. It's all of us if we let it be. I'm not the only one. Snafu, please.
I got a question because Mitchell's not coming
I
up here.
know.
So
Just
I wanna
wait till
know
I'm done
from your
speaking.
mouth.
I know you have to practice
So what is
patience.
the deal about him saying that you contacted his attorney? And what's the deal about him saying that you called the cops or something on? Like,
I
what is
love
all
this
this
too. Look at how he's on. Ask it again. I want to just point out what he's saying on screen. I'm doing so good. I'm better than Jesus. What in the great Scott of culting has you guys thinking that this Jesus character from a storybook is infallible? You did it again. You did it again. I'm more than willing to claim in certain times, if the facts show it, that I'm doing better than Jesus. I don't believe a storybook is infallible. The storybook was written hundreds of years later. The historicity is spotty at best. The miracles are violations of law, you could argue. So if anything, they're probably allegorical, right? And I'm experiencing the same God of creation and the same force and the same walk as him. Why is it all of you culted ones want to put me beneath some character in a storybook and then claim that I'm arrogant and egotistical if I claim I'm doing equal, if not better than that being? I haven't gone in the temple and whipped on the slaves and been put to death. I've gone to the box and been let out every time for putting the universal truth on record. Seek the truth and you'll be set free. I'm wondering why the Jesus being didn't...
It's okay. I got it. Motherfucker.
Go ahead, Snafu. It's obvious you're asking me questions, and then when I give answers and create some level of narrative here.
Mitchell's saying some stuff in chat and triggered for the last 2 days. He's making claims, and I want to know more about it. He says you contacted his attorney, and then you also called cops on him or something like. I'm just curious. What is Mitchell
confused again? I didn't use my father for a trailer. I stopped talking and dealing with my father for 3 years. And then he inserted himself in my life again and pretended to care about me and used me to give me a trailer to turn around and say, I need him. That's what you're missing, right? So, like, do I need to expose my financial situation on here to prove once and for all that you're all really off on what's going on here? I, believe it or not, had the 10,000 when I went to the tent to get the trailer. I had 30 or 40, whatever it was, 20 to 40 somewhere. I don't remember. I wasn't counting for you folks. I had whatever I needed to get whatever I needed. I chose to do without so that I could invest in different ways. And that's been good to me. So why you keep acting like I needed to leave where I was, go off and start a whole new life by myself, pursue truth and upholding the law and rights by myself, and leave everyone else alone who couldn't leave me alone, is me using them? Because my father cared so much about me, he then took my dead uncle's money after saying there's only 3 of us left, we have to look out for each other. And his answer was, I was on heroin 10 years ago. That's why he's not going to share it with me. You're delusional. My father's the user. My father's the narcissist. My father's an abuser. My father's delusional and said he aligns with Talcott more than me. He's also a fucking coward. That's why he does. And a status swine. That's why he does. Okay? I didn't need to use my father to get a trailer. Quite frankly, I had so many other folks in my life who were willing to do for me. I could have used them, and I didn't. You know, there's other people here, believe it or not. By the way, I also left an apartment where someone was letting me stay who was charging me $200 a month for a bedroom bathroom, which is unheard of on Denver. I'm such a user. I said, hey, gotta go. And I think you should change this as well because you're living on Social Security and I'm benefiting from it. And I wouldn't care if I got $1 billion. I don't feel right about it. I'd rather go off in the world and sink or swim than live $200 a month in a veteran's apartment on social service. So we both picked up and left with nobody and nothing and went to nowhere, in the middle of nowhere, in a tent, and did without everything because he agreed with me that we shouldn't be living off the state of, whether it's directly or indirectly. You don't think that part of me said, Paulie, you're putting $2,000-3,000 away at your job. You're working a shit job and you're still putting $2-3 grand away a month. Most people aren't putting 20 to 30 grand away a year, right? So I worked at that job for about a year and a half. I put away 20 to 30 grand. I said, I could do this for another 3 to 5 years, but I'm not really fulfilled. I'm not seeing this going anywhere. And I got a whole other aspect to me that I want to move into: rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith, and broadcasting. And I did that. And I've been successful in my own right. In every way. So this, why I have to even talk about this and pretend to non-defend myself? There's nothing to defend. The truth speaks for itself. You got a rest of these loser, failure, weak-ass motherfuckers who are constantly remixing narratives to try to demean and devalue because they just don't want to succeed. You know, just like that clown over there right now who won't come up here. There's about 10 of you cowards who are watching right now, who are at Slatcots and won't come up on this panel because you're bitch-ass motherfuckers and you know the truth is not on your side. Telling me I never traveled freely and what I do doesn't matter because I rode around in Jennifer's car for a year when I went back to New Mexico. What does one have to do with the other?
So I guess the question, can you tell me what Mitch is talking about here?
Yeah, here's a clue real quick for that retard. And ask me again. Here's a clue for Rob G and the other cowards who haven't done what I've done yet. If you motherfuckers would get your ass in gear and establish rights, freedom, principles in the common law and record, I wouldn't have to ride around in Jennifer's passenger seat on New Mexico. By the way, she told me I could drive the car. I chose not to travel. See, because we have to use the word drive everywhere. They pigeonholed us. So she told me I could try. I could do whatever I want. I choose not to. You know why? Because if I get stopped, they're going to take it. And they're going to take me. And she's going to get charged for it. And they're going to fuck with her. I'm not interfering with her shit. She was practicing traveling alone without me. And her reason when I asked her was she didn't want me in the car because she thought I had warrants. I said, you can't do that for that reason. I said, there's no running from this. It doesn't matter what we're even doing right now in the future. And that's like now. We can't make excuses and we can't do this and that. We're going to have to move fully into this. Right? You bitch ass motherfuckers haven't done it yet and then want to tell me I should do it more while you haven't done it at all. If you'd have done it at all, I wouldn't have to ride around in her passenger seat. None of us would have to have the licenses, registration, insurances, because we already know we don't. And motherfuckers have already sued him and brought it to Supreme Court and gotten dismissals and all the rest of it. So you act like I'm the type of person you're going to gaslight. All you do is inspire me, you bitch ass, weak ass haters. That's all you do is inspire me. Thank you. Because now I go, you know what? Rob G's right, even if he's wrong for the wrong reasons. I did go back to New Mexico. I wasn't going to bring my car with me just because I'm not spending $400 on gas, if nothing else, to prove to you I'm still traveling. So now that I'm back, I got to go right back into it. Thank you for inspiring me. I got to get arrested again. I got to go to jail. I got to get another dismissal. I got to sue motherfuckers or I got to do time and prove that I ain't scared of that. And I'll be better off for that. You all don't understand what I'm doing and why. And you ain't ever going to live up to it because you're punk fucking cowards. You know it and I know it.
So what is Mitchell talking about?
I don't know what Mitchell's talking about. He's insane and he'll make up anything to try to demean and devalue me because he's a jealous little bitch.
He said you contacted his lawyer and he said that you called the cops on him. What, like, those are what he's passionate about.
Let's just put it this way. You guys are so lucky that I see a bigger picture here and I have something to live for. Because if I was the way I used to be, where I felt I had nothing to live for anymore and I gave up on life, I just make a business out of like teaching you all directly on the ground to not play these fucking games anymore.
Hey, you know? I hate to interrupt.
You make a YouTube channel of tracking.
Yeah, I just make content of, hey, what happened? Some black guy from who knows where, we don't know why, just ran up on Mitchell and taught him to stop being a bitch. There's our content for the. Someone ran up on Slow State at the store and told him how to not be a bitch. But see, I don't want to do that because A, I have to deal with the karma. B, you never send somebody to do something you're not going to do yourself. And C, I'm not going to throw my life away for a bunch of loser failure clowns. So I just let them inspire me to do better and be better and have better and talk. You know, and inspire.
Why does it have to be a black guy? Why can't it be like an Irish guy or?
Because most of the people that I know who'd be willing to do whatever need to be done are black folks who are low income and they don't like these motherfuckers anyway. Just like me, they think they're cowardly bitch ass motherfuckers and they want to put the screws to them to show them for who and what they are. For respect purposes, on GP, as they used to say, just general principle. We got nothing else to do here than show truth and respect, and this is how it's going to get done.
I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye.
I do know why they do what they do, but I don't know why you'd be willing to do that. And again, maybe some folks here, like myself at one point, have given up on life and even trying to be anything here and just standing on truth and respect all day, every day. Doesn't matter how it turns out and ends up. That's how they live. I'm not living like that completely at this point. You know, I want to have land. I want to grow food. I want to be in a nice peaceful area and prepare for war if necessary. And if not, live the rest of my life somewhat prosperous and successful and co-creative, and respond accordingly.
I'm just saying Mitch should come up here and explain what he's tripping about. I don't even understand.
Again, Gary Baxter, you're bizarre. Gary Baxter's at Slow Slaves, and now he's being an apologist for him. How do you know Flo can fight? You've never met him. You've never been in life with him. You just believe what other people say. I told you, Gary Baxter, that day, come over to my panel. Let's talk about getting you some assistance with your flood. You never showed up. You don't even care about yourself and your house and your family and the flood and doing what we're inspired to be doing here. Yet you want to be an apologist for slave state and then repeat like a bitch what he says that you have no experience of. Now go ahead, Baxter. Tell me how you know slow state can fight. Go ahead and type it in the chat. Zafu, please take a breath once in a while. You don't have to fill every space of silence. Go ahead, Gary Baxter. Tell me in the chat how you know Flo Slave, repeating someone's name they made up for themselves. Another hoe quality. His name's Taylor. If he can fight at all to any degree, it's because he grew up being bullied and picked on because his name's Taylor. Which shows that his mommy and daddy are weak, by the way, subconsciously. That his daddy would let his mommy pick a name for him like Taylor. Shows who's running the house. Okay, shows everything in one moment. Just like he wears earrings all day, every day. If he gets picked on, it's for being a queer who's named Taylor, who puts on his mama's earrings growing up to try to look cute and pretty. That's how he developed how to fight according to him. And you believe what he says. You're a fucking dupe and a clown too. What do you think of that? Waiting. Gary Baxter, 3 more answers, but won't point out how he's a dumb, broken hoe right now because he already knows I'm right. This is what you guys do all day, every day. This is what I do all day, every day. And this is why I make a living at it and you don't. Because you're delusional and you just say shit and it makes no fucking sense. And when I ask you why you believe it, you don't even want to answer me right now because you know how foolish you're going to fucking sound and look. Maybe you should have thought about that before you jumped out the window with your lack of credibility. Sorry, this is how daddy has to care for you. To get you to care about your words and your reputation, yourself, and your credibility, because you apparently won't do it on your own. Go ahead, Gary Baxter. Tell me all about how you know Slow Slave can fight. Waiting.
I know that motherfucker.
Waiting. This is the comment. Differences. Flo can fight while Mitchell's an orator. Waiting. How do you know that? Give me the answer. Waiting. Give me the waiting room music. Do 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 do.
Oh my god! Don't put that on the loop.
This is how ridiculous it. You tell me you ever seen Slow Slave fight?
Wrong one.
He knows him. He lives with him on the ground. You tell me you ever seen Slow Slave fight?
Bro, he can't fight. Look at that little bitch.
Do. Everyone on here's completely full of shit. Do.
Hey, I challenged Flow State
fight so good. Why, when I showed up in his private DMs and said, let's meet up and have a conversation, he just went to acting like he didn't know what language I was speaking. He's so good at fighting. I don't claim to be great at fighting. I'm pretty coordinated. If you can't tell, I have some dexterity.
Online shit, bro. How do you think he's going to fight in real life?
Yeah, I don't believe people. I don't believe people who look like they're broken like this and can barely pay attention and are not intelligent and spastic and uncoordinated can fight good. I don't know where you come from. Usually people who can't talk, and can't walk a certain way. And, you can judge a book by its cover to some degree, right? It's usually competent, capable, get up and go people who can talk and speak and are captivating, who are coordinated, who are usually the best at test a skill, let's put it that way. I don't see that with him. I've known guys like that. You could tell just by looking at them. They fuck good and fight good. You can call me gay for that. What do you think women do? If they have any, I don't know what that is, tribal waiting music. We're waiting in the teepee. Yeah, bro. Like, you guys act like, then they'll say I'm gay for that. Paulie just said he could tell by looking at a man whether they can fuck good and fight good. You can, because it's called being coordinated. It's very simple. The same way in gym, I used to know who to pick for dodgeball and who not to, because these are the ones who look coordinated and capable, and these are the ones who don't. It's called being a winner. It's called being a leader. It's called having understanding.
Yeah, Flo's a bitch.
Slow
dude.
Slave can
Anyone
fight.
can
Well, did we get the answer yet? Hello. No, we didn't get the answer yet. Didn't Flo
'Cause he
offer a
made a
meetup
false
with you?
claim.
You passed on? No, he offered me a on TV public appearance of a fight that I'm not willing to engage in. I don't want to walk into the ring and do public
I'm
appearances
willing
and fights.
to do that with him.
Shut the fuck up, please. You're pissing me off. If you haven't noticed for 3 years. More spins and narratives. Baxter, I didn't ask you to double down on being his new little bitch boyfriend and being an apologist for him. I asked you, dumb, gullible dupe, how do you know he can fight? That's a statement you just made. How do you know that? Because he's always saying it. The people who are always saying that they're good fighters, usually not the case. You've never heard me running around saying I'm so great at fighting. I tell you, I want to avoid conflict. I'm more than willing to have it, as you know of me, if necessary. Right? If that's where we need to go to resolve things, it is what it is. I can't change it at that point. I just proved once again that you got somebody who's online lying and pretending to be something they're not, and you bought into it because you're a fucking dupe and you're gullible. You believe Slow State has more fight in him than someone like me? You could just tell by looking at us who's got more fight in him and how we show up everywhere in our lives. The question is, am I going to want to fight him? Most people, I really don't. It doesn't do anything for me. You know, I'm open to it if I need to, but 9 out of 10 times, once we get right down to it, I'm in front of somebody. I really don't want to put my hands on somebody. You have to work me into that position, and then that's when I start to wake up, and then that's when I get angry or get active, and then that's when I do what I have to do. So for all the folks who just run around, I've never really seen that. Guys who look like him, walk, talk, and act like him, who look like they're ready to die, who can't even get up without huffing and puffing, doesn't even work for a living. The guy's got no get up and go. He's got no fight in him for life. How do you know he can fight in real life in any situation? Furthermore, it's even more embarrassing. If he's a good fighter in his life and has done nothing with it, why is he such a loser, failure, broke slave? He's got so much fight in him. Why doesn't he apply that to fighting the drywall every day to make a fucking living? Hello. You're fucking ridiculous and delusional. You're out of it. Slow Slave wants to do public clout chasing where he knows I'm not comfortable. What he doesn't want to do is meet up privately and do whatever he wants to do where nobody's looking and can see. Because he knows what's likely most going to happen. I'm not really, I don't need to fight. I'm gonna put you down however I need to if you want to get physical with me. So that's why he won't show up. That's why he specified, Paulie, we want you on camera, street beefs. I'm sure you do. Because if you show up in my area and you put hands on me and I put hands on you and you get the better of me, I'm going to take you the fuck up out of this reality if I have to. I don't believe in fighting fair. I believe we don't put our hands on each other no matter what. And if you go to get physical, there's no such thing as a fair fight. You get whatever the fuck you get. You get to receive what you receive.
That's where we see eye to eye.
Right. And guess what? I don't want to be in a position where I just killed a motherfucker or I'm bleeding out in the street. And now somebody's got to answer to a court about who, what, when, why, and how. Because even if we meet privately, there's a good chance it's going to come to the light. Right? So guess what? I'm above and beyond that at that point. I don't roll around with other grown men unless I'm prepared to die or go to prison that day. And he's not that, which is why he didn't show up in my private DM or anywhere else. Because he knows I am. I'm not proud of that. I'm just saying I've had to learn to do what I do with rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith, to go into the mode of someone's going to have to die today or go to a box. If I have to access that space, then I will. Why should I need to? For him to prove he's a big badass online and sell more tickets to a non-fight for you to give him money and pretend he's a man? He's a fucking coward. He can't even summon the energy to get out of bed in the morning and go to work and make a living. He's boring as all get out. He's got no get up and go and no fight in him. He's a dead fish, and you're going to show up in this chat and repeat what the fuck he says because he's insecure about his abilities. You're a dumbass. This is why I don't respect most of you. This is why I think most of you are foolish. This is why I think most of you are liars and cowards. You live in your own world and you repeat a bunch of nonsense. And when I ask you to show up and put it on record, you ain't nowhere to be found.
Slow state is like a slug. He reminds me of one of my friends, Chris.
And flow state reminds me of the guy at every party who makes jokes and then gets caught being heard saying them, then gets checked and challenged, and either gets his ass whooped or leaves with his head down. A college frat boy dude who's too big for his own brain.
He reminds me of someone who acts like they all bad, and then next thing you know, we're taking his commissary. Like he act like he's something and he ain't. So it is what it is.
So slow state is a psychopath, sociopath. Don't conflate that with competent, capable, and a good fighter. Gary Baxter, still waiting for your answer. Are we going to get an answer? Or are you hiding metaversally, metaphorically from the truth?
Or
because you jumped out the window and made yourself look like the fool that you and slow state are?
I'm thinking maybe one of the mods just.
Oh, wow. You tell me lives with slow state around him. He knows him. They're from the same area. Never seen him fight. You tell me doesn't know that he can fight and lives around. How do you know, Gary Baxter? Because you're another one of Flow State's broken hoes, even though you're a male, and you're one of the ones he uses. That's why he jumped all over me that day when I said, Gary Baxter, bro, come on over because I feel for you that your house was washed away. That's a fucked up situation. I want to try to do something if I can to give back because I actually care about doing the right thing, you know, and like helping if I can with what I've been given and what I've received, the blessings, right? And he jumped all over me. Oh, do you really want to help Gary Baxter? Or is this just to make you look good? That's you. I don't need to do that. I am good. I don't need to look good. See? So you couldn't see the move that day. You can't see any of the moves. And daddy's got to sit here and tell you every fucking move from top to bottom and you still don't see it. He jumped all over me because you're one of his broken hoes who's an apologist for him who believes the crap that comes out of his mouth. Just like he said he'd match whatever I give you. You think he's going to match 5K from this audience? Of course he's not. He'll back right out on it like he does everything else while chasing Taylor, while chasing Tarek around for $100. He backed out of the $3,000 piece of silver bet because he knows he's going to lose. Backed out of the fucking putting up money with this audience because you didn't come over here, right? He would have backed out on it. We know Slow State doesn't have 5,000 and isn't going to put it up to help you. He just said something. And you all believed it again. And then he got to trade on what he said. I told Paul I put up whatever I said and no one said anything. Well, that makes me a winner. You traded on what you said, not what on you did. That's what he relies on, that he can just say shit. Then when nothing comes of it, he can repeat it and act like that gives him clout and points. It doesn't. Proves he's full of shit. Trade on what you do and who you are, not what on you said. You hoes in chat can't figure that out yet either. Slow State's in a horrible relationship with a woman. He lies constantly. He's abusive. He's manipulative. He's deceptive is the same thing. He's disempowered and impotent. I guarantee he doesn't fuck that woman he's with anymore. That's why he's on the net all night and sleeping all day to avoid that relationship. You want to tell me he's got no fight in himself for anything in life?
Yeah, there's certain men out here that that don't impress me, and that are other men that I would actually find that it would be probably formidable encounter if it had to, if it was in the ring. And like you're one of those freedom grower, Dick, and Nubs. There are some of you guys that, I think that, at the limit, no, not even, no. But there are other.
I don't even care about any of that. I really don't even care about being physical and beating each other up. What does that prove? You're still a punk ass, slave ass coward in your own life and not a man. I don't care about everything else. If Slow State had any balls and had any get up and go and had any fight, then he'd be civilly disobeying, not following code, and having life his way. He don't live like that. He pretends to be an outlaw.
Let's not forget Flow State and all of them just recently scammed YouTube. Well, it's the audience fault too because they're idiots. But over $1,000 for fake medical shit.
Here's another one. Here's another one. Another loser, like he calls himself, loser, failure, daddy, projecting onto me. I don't need to feel better. All right. If anything, I'd feel better not talking this shit and getting my blood pressure up as they keep telling me. having to keep looping and focusing on these dynamics that you all, it's like you all purposely choose not to get it so that I do these loops. You know, you act like you don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Why do you think Gary Baxter still hasn't answered me? How do you know Flow State can fight? He's never going to answer me, but he's still going to go around, I bet, and say it certain places when he thinks daddy's not going to hear him and see him. He doesn't care that he's a dumb, broken hoe and has no reputation or credibility and probably isn't respected on the ground for anything. They don't care. I need to feel better. I feel better about me. I do care. I am aligned with truth. I do speak it real and honorably and honest and straightforward. Why would I need to feel better about me being a better person than most of these people on here? That makes no sense. Do you feel better that I just taught you and showed you what truth and reality looks like? And that maybe you can be a better person, Gary Baxter and Slow Slave and whoever else is watching and listening based on these dynamics? Do you feel better?
I feel better.
Slow Slave literally just came on a week ago. Everybody missed it. And said, "You are. Why do you presume I'm not looking for land? Because you can't afford it." But you'll lie and you'll make obfuscating, indirect, lied statements, veiled inferences. He's inferring that he's looking for land while not telling anyone he's not looking for land. If he was doing it, he'd be telling people. He's not doing it, but wants us to believe he can. He can't.
Dude, he's looking for the next sell of Claire's earrings.
If Slow State could afford land, he'd wear more than 2 shirts, the same shirt 3 times a week. Right? Like, let's get real here. And I'm not even somebody who spends like that on clothes on any level. I watch him. He went one day to Walmart, bought 3 items, and has worn them out 3 times a week, acting like he did something. You know, he's popping tags. Motherfuckers are weak. You're cowardly. You're procrastinating. You're poor and broke, and you don't do shit. And you're not about shit. And when you're called to the carpet to stand on something, you're running the opposite direction or you tell lies. And that's why your women and children don't respect you. And that's why I don't respect you. We're on a loop again. And it applies to the majority of folks. Whether you want to look at it or not, really don't care. I'm doing the Lord's work here. I'm doing the Lord's will. Speaking the truth for everybody to attain, to practice a solutions-oriented co-creative process. You don't want it? Don't have it. Live in hell. Burn in hell for all I fucking care. Along with a bunch of other falsely empowered, codependent, deceptive liars. Chasing another $400 a month so they can buy cigarettes and do nothing all day. Stay up all night, sleep all day, have their cigarettes covered, and live off a woman. And then claim, how do you know we're not looking for land? Because you thought $3,000 in silver was savings. That's how I know. Fucking clowns on here. I got to do a broadcast. I already keep putting it off. I got myself engaged, right?
That's all right, man. I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm invested in the truth. So indirectly, I'm invested in all these characters. And I get engaged because I have a passion and a care for the truth and co-creative cause and effect solutions. And I believe we need it now more than ever. And if you don't want to live it and you don't want to experience it, enjoy. You know, just keep loving to hate on me and what I'm talking about while you know what I'm saying is true. Did Gary Baxter answer yet? No, he didn't. He ran from the chat now. I love playing on you folks with the truth. I love these inherent hierarchical power and value games. It's like a video game, gives us something to do. I play real life video games instead of Moose having to play fake games in a fake reality. This is the video game right here. This is my avatar. This is my character. Here's my attributes. Let's go at it with the truth. Verbally. Gary Baxter's nowhere to be seen now. It's not down there anymore. What happened? And instead of, like the coward that he is, just like Slow State, and instead of copping to the fact that I was right and you looked like a dunce, and thank me for helping you not look like a fucking broken hoe and a fool everywhere else you go from here on out, you're gonna probably catch feelings about it and resent me, right? That's how unthankful and ungrateful and childlike you folks are. But make sure you give Slow State another $20 this month so he can live off you and use you. You fucking clown. I'll tell you the truth and chase people away who give me shit. He'll tell you lies in order to get your shit, and you still can't figure it out. Bless your heart. You guys are the perfect 40 to 50 people to be pimped and hoed on by Slow Slave. I love it. I'm not mad at him. You guys got to be pimped on and hoed on some way. If he wasn't going to get it, government was going to get it. I'd almost rather him have it than government.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Maybe once he gets some money, he'll stop fucking hating on me and lying on me. Once he starts feeling better about himself, he'll stop projecting on me, lying and hating and telling fake ass stories about himself.
Hey, he ain't getting monetized. Strike team, the strike team got him. He ain't getting monetized anytime soon. Fuck him.
Bro, it doesn't matter because you could get $1 billion and still not stand for nothing in this realm. And when you go to die, you're going to know that you didn't complete and do what you were meant to do. There's nothing that can supplant that. There's nothing that can overtake your subconscious or conscious mind. There's no amount of money and numbers and bullshit broadcasts. This is the joke of it all. I just point at that stuff because I know it triggers them because they can't stand what they can't do. They can't stand focusing on what they can't do and having to be real about it. So I pointed out the reason they can't get money and numbers and people to respect them and all the rest of it is because they're not who and what they're meant to be. The reason I can is because I've moved somewhat into that as God put it down for me, as far as I could perceive, right? It's real fucking simple, straight to the point. That's why Slow Stave started to get some more money, because if you haven't noticed, this is why he still comes over to my area and tries to cupcake with me, as Snafu says, because he respects me, because he's inspired by me. It's why whenever I show up there once every 3 months, he goes, "Oh my God, Paul's here." He gets wet in the pants for me. You can't even hide it. Figure out that the power and the value usually goes one way from one place. That's me. Doesn't matter what he and others say about it. It's obvious. If you can read the room and other people, it's obvious who's who and what's what. The reason he won't meet me in private is because he's going to get starstruck when he walks up on me, and all that fucking energy is going to drain from him. He's going to want to hug me and laugh and joke and smoke meth together. I don't like uppers, and I'm not going back to being a drug addict.
It happens to me still when you show up backstage, man. I'm like happy.
Yeah, Slow Slave's the kind of guy he's going to show up and go, "You know what, Paulie boy, let's go get some new pussy together." And I go, "No, I don't need to do that at all, really, let alone with you." You know, and if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it in an honorable way. And it's going to be more than just about the new pussy. It's going to be about who the being is and what we're going to create together and be a part of. It got nothing to offer me, man. I am a wealth and a fountain of value and worth and power for you, and you have little to nothing to offer me back. What am I going to do with you? It's like everything is, what am I going to do for you? You know, what am I going to do with you the way you are now? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or not do drywall? We're going to not build something together?
He would have to start by taking off those ridiculous earrings that he wears.
Listen, man, at the end of the day, bro, anybody could do whatever they want. That's their style and their what. I think it's more indicative of sub psychology. While he calls everyone gay constantly, I think that's all that is. I'm not even down on it. You know, it's just like, just be a good person. Just focus on the truth. Just stop denying reality. Stop projecting a false legend that you can live through. You know, it's pathetic and embarrassing. What's even more pathetic and embarrassing is you got 40 people over there watching and listening, and they're repeating this crap like Gary Baxter. Do you have no fucking self-worth and self-esteem? I'm telling you, man, this world is just nothing but people who want to use and be used. And for the few people who care about what's true and what's right, we're hated by everyone, apparently, the majority.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wait, you don't want to use and be used? No, I just want to focus on the truth and co-create. Oh, man, you're the worst of everybody. Yeah, okay.
Hey, I've gotten the rap, man. I've been excommunicated from communities for... I still don't even know why.
Oh, don't cry you a river about some Me Too victim bitches.
But I don't care, Snafu. Honestly, I don't. Yeah. Because
they're Nazis.
It's like if it wasn't meant for me, it's just not. You know, usually I tend to go with the flow. I go with what's meant for me, man. It's like I don't discount Murphy's Law, right? So it's like that's how I tend to see life. It's like I see life through Murphy's Law. What is meant to be shall be, and that's it. I mean, you know, and obviously you have a role to play in that. Okay, if you need to do things to better your situation, then you can't just sit around and wait for things to fucking, you have to do those steps. You have to fucking get out of that comfort zone and do the uncomfortable to fucking, see the fruits of what that produces when you do that. And I know
You have to admit to
true.
yourself that people are better than you at certain things and then strive to do and be better.
Exactly.
And Slow Slave and Slack Cot and Keith and all the rest of them just won't admit to life on life's term. They won't check their pride and their ego to cop to life on life's terms. Doesn't matter what the money and the numbers shows them. Doesn't matter what the people say. Doesn't matter what they know just by looking and experiencing. They will always prefer to live in an alternate reality to cope with the reality they can't meet life on life's terms in and get solutions or get results.
Sometimes it's about going back to the drawing board, starting over, doing it fresh, a new slate, and then building from there. Because sometimes you're too far gone the goalpost to be able to fucking backtrack and try to. It's not going to work. You need to start everything over again and just do it the right way that particular time that you're doing it. So it's like, if you're just going to wait and sit around and expect things to happen for your benefit, that's not how it works. And Paul was mentioning it before when he was saying that God will help those who help themselves. And that is actually true, because I imagine that it's like God will give you what you need when needed. It's like that story of the guy who's hold on a sec. It's like the guy who's stuck in the middle of the ocean, and God sends 3 boats, and the guy looks at those 3 boats and says, "It's okay. God's gonna save me. God's gonna save me." Right? But God sent him 3 boats to save him, and he ends up drowning, and wonders why God never helped him, because he was in a delusion that it was going to be some sort of miracle, when sometimes it's these kind of like miracles are hidden behind those boats, like allegorically speaking. So if the guy would have just hopped onto the boat, he would have been saved, because without him knowing, and this I understand, because if I wouldn't have done that particular day that I decided to go look for a job.
Well, you had a hair up your ass because you were getting hit by me and others for giving you shit, because we give those we like shit, and you did.
It didn't have. It wasn't.
You
that.
took
It
action, dude.
I did take action, but I didn't really have a choice but to take action. But I had like a few places that I knew about that were looking for workers, right? And I ended up getting a job at a place that I had no idea they were looking for workers, but I just instinctively stopped there.
That's where you fucked up.
Will you shut up?
That's where you're on the.
Shut up.
That's where that's where you fucked up. You're on that.
Shut up. So I never even thought. Holy fuck! I never even thought for a second that this place was actually looking for somebody. So I just stopped there by fucking pure coincidence. I just got out of my truck. I knocked at the door, and there's this guy that was actually waiting there for some reason. I don't know why. And he goes, "Well, the boss is going to be here in 10 minutes. So I said, okay, this is probably it. This is the place.
Right. You're stuck in your linear way, dude. You were like, oh, I only know a few jobs that are hiring, so these are the places I could go to. Like, you were in your linear path. When you decided to go off your linear path, outside of the box, with risk and action, that's what I was trying to say. Is because when you're like, because I know the type like you sometimes, where you get in your, like, I know this place might be hiring, this place might be hiring, this place, instead of versus, I got a hair up my ass.
I know people. I'll make a couple of phone calls. I get some buddies. Hey, dude, you know any places? And they, yeah, they're looking for somebody here. It's like, so if you make, that
just shows you though. That just shows you where when you get out of your linear comfortability, sometimes the positives that come with that. Hey, anyways, that video that we had, whenever you want, you should play the rest of it whenever. But dude, it's about to get hit real, because it goes into the rituals with 9/11, like Transformers, the cube, the block, the whole work, dude. So
Yeah, I'm driving a tow truck. Yeah, I had like my it's like I guess my exam today or whatever. It's like they test you on the road, see if you're have the abilities to be a tow truck driver. But I've had a construction business all my life. Been driving pickup trucks and trailers, pretty much for the past 30 years. So it was like nothing new for me to just hop onto that tow truck and and it was a flatbed too, man. I just had a fucking great time driving. It's like giving a kid, like I remember when I got my first Tonka, guys. Yeah, that's how it felt, man. It felt like you just gave me a fucking Tonka, man. Now I'm just gonna I was driving that thing, it was manual transmission, everything. I felt like I was like in the thumbnail. I felt like I was Sylvester Stallone driving the big rig going to a fucking arm wrestling match. It was great. I had a great time, but I don't want to let myself get carried away because I don't want to, just how do I say this? I don't want to get ahead of myself, right? I want to keep my feelings on the shelf, not fucking worry about liking or not liking the job, but just do the fucking job and do it fucking great. That way, because this job actually, if you're doing they give bonuses for shit, so I'm going to fucking work like a dog, man. And one of the reasons I'm actually going to do work like a dog is exactly the same lesson that I believe Paul has been trying to teach everybody for the past couple of years is I'm not going to go there for some righteous reason. I'm going to go there to invest in something to better myself and others around me. It's like it's not necessarily like a righteous endeavor, but I believe that's like one of the first steps is when you're going to go do something, you do it because you want to better your situation and the situation of others around you. So for me, this is one of the top reasons why I'm doing this is I'm bringing it back to self. I'm bringing it back to what needs to be addressed. So I believe that there are things that need to be addressed at that level, and I need to abandon myself and my self-righteousness, right? Because I do feel at some points that I feel I'm self-righteous. I have to be humble myself and accept things for what's meant for me, right? So like Snafu pointed out, I went outside the box. I went outside of what I knew was possible and went into the realm of we don't know. And by doing so, now I've triggered I guess it's the butterfly effect, right? Received the phone call, went back there, did the job, did the work. I think I impressed, the people that I needed to impress. And now I'm just waiting for the evening phone call or a text message to tell me if there's work tomorrow. Because you get a phone call every night. It's an everyday thing. So that's what I actually like about it. It's every day. It's like even on weekends. So it's not like so I guess in the beginning it's like on call. And it's not like, and even like right now I would never get called to work in the evening because there's not a 24-hour service. We operate under like 8 to 5, 8 to 6. So now you're not saying anything?
No, I'm just listening to you.
Oh, okay. So Paul's going live in a few.
When?
Hold on, let me check. Not very long.
You definitely should finish that video sometime, whether tomorrow or whatever.
Well, if I don't work tomorrow, I guess I'll play the rest of it tomorrow.
It gets into it.
Yeah, I actually liked it, dude. I was like fucking into it completely. I was listening, man, all fucking.
Oh, just wait till it gets to 9/11, bro. Especially with the Transformers movies and the towers and the cubes, and it goes in detail, man. All because of the rituals.
All right, so I think yeah, Mr. Polyboy is live.
Okay.
So
Well, congrats again about the job. Don't let it burn you out. And remember, if it doesn't work out, there's many others out there.
yeah, but I have a good feeling about this one. I think it'll be good.
No, yeah.
And
I'm
I'm
just saying, in
confident
the future,
that I'm gonna do it.
you never know what the future brings, and just remember, it's just this just shows you the possibility of you going off linear. That really it's endless in a sense. So, I think this tow truck thing you'll like a lot. I think you're gonna like it too.
Okay. Checking my messages here. Everything seems good. All right, phone fully charged. It was about time. All right, anybody want to join the show? Just go ahead and click the link. I guess I can go for another hour, or another something like that.
You could just finish off that video.
I might but I might just pop on over to Paul's show.
Oh, okay.
And join. We'll see.
Are you gonna go live on a live on a live?
What?
Are you gonna be live when you go on Paul's live?
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking of doing. Yeah.
Live on a live on a live.
Yeah.
How much do you get paid in a sense? You don't have to say it fully, but do they pay you like commission on how many vehicles you do a day?
Daily salary.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You get the same amount of money whether you do 5 hours or you do 8. It's all depending on how fast you are.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool too because I'm gonna be fucking fast. Because I know I have a contractor's mind.
Is that one of those tow trucks that has the like automatic lift thing in the back where you just pull up and then you just lift up the car and bounce the fuck out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those are like
well,
ninjas,
I
bro.
have multiple models, dude. There's the truck with the trailer, so we can carry loaders and fucking bulldozers and shit like that. And then we got other got a flatbed that we carry fucking skyjacks on and lifts, chair lifts.
Imagine if you bought yourself your own tow truck, and then once you learn how to do this shit, you do it on your own. Build your own company.
It's funny you say that, dude, but I was actually thinking the same fucking thing today. It says, what if I buy myself my own fucking brand new tow truck?
That's what I'm saying.
I get work. I'd be working all the time. I wouldn't have to wait for people to give me contracts. I'd just fucking go to any fucking business and just,
You know another good trade for seasonal work is learn how to be a locksmith. Unlocking doors for people who lock themselves out the door. You charge 60, 70, 80 bucks, $100 just for showing up on scene. Unlock the door, let them in, give you cash, and you're out. Well, hey, you should definitely finish that video tonight on your own. play it on your channel tomorrow too, but you'll like it, bro. It gets deep.
Yeah, I was just about to go into QAnon, I think, or Anonymous.
Well, yeah, it gets into the 9/11. It gets into the ritual that took place with that. Because I think, you know that picture you showed of the palm trees and the fire in the movie that you were decoding the other night?
Hold on a sec. I was reading chat. You pick up the cars and like repo. No, I'm not the repo guy. That's not me.
No, I think if you're repo, you can't do that. You're too pussy. You're a nice guy. I'm not calling you a pussy. You're too nice. Repo, you get in a wreck.
No, we pick up scrap vehicles and send them to the scrap yard, and
some little girl would be crying, "Don't take my car," and you'd fuck it up.
We're more of a transport company than we are than anything else. We pretty much transport shit. That's all we do.
Did you have to get like certified for like the heavy haul?
I use I'm a small hauler.
Okay, well, you talked about bulldozer. I know sometimes here in the States you got to get certified sometimes, like overweight.
Oh,
loads.
But the bulldozers are on pickup trucks, so that's light load, big pickup trucks, but it's not the big rigs. It's not the Freightliners.
For sure. No, dude, this job is good for you, and then you'll learn that business, bro. Because one day you decide to just get yourself your own truck, you'll learn the business. You'll learn pay close attention to the contracts, who they're bidding, what they're bidding, how they're doing. Like, just pay attention to the business aspect of it while you do your work. Yeah, I know a lot of dudes that do the tow truck thing or repo thing. The locksmith too. The motherfuckers, they'll be sleeping. And they could take the calls or not take call, but like, you know, that's like $100, $80, you know, just to cruise out and fucking unlock the car, Slim Jim it, or use a lock key. And people lock themselves, especially in wintertime, people lock themselves out of the car a lot more because the heater's on. I don't know about Canada though.
Oh yeah, well, like I locked myself out of my car last year. The battery died, and in Mini Coopers, when a battery dies, there's like the doors don't unlock even if you put the key in and turn the key. It doesn't. It's all numeric. So if the battery dies, doors don't unlock.
That's fucked up.
Crazy shit. Yeah. So I had to slit a right where there's like a safety, like a safety fucking trigger thing there. Like you pull on this fucking handle, and the back, the trunk pulls open. So I had to slit open with an X-Acto knife, like you know, in the fucking convertible fucking, it's made of some sort of leather, so I had to put my hand in there and pull on that fucking open up the car. And the battery was actually in the trunk. So
no, I get that, man. I get that. But you know, honestly, I talked about that picture that you had with the fire in the palm tree. You remember that yesterday?
Yeah.
Think of Hawaii, DWs, and like you said, Florida, which remember Putin put that video out 8 years ago of what looked like Florida getting hit by ICBMs, which yesterday he launched the first intercontinental ballistic missiles into Ukraine yesterday.
Wasn't it the other way around?
No, Putin almost 8 years ago released footage of what looked like Florida getting nuked, right? Palm tree. But I was thinking Hawaii and Hawaii. But what's crazy is yesterday, or so it was yesterday or 2 days. It's in that video too. But they launched ICBMs into Ukraine. Like this whole thing, like Biden, like dude, when he said, "Oh yeah, we're using U.S. military missiles," he was in the fucking rainforest, bro. And then he walked off into the rain. You gotta look this shit. You can't write this shit. These stage puppeteers in the game. But watch that video about rituals, because I did that whole video, and it goes into right where you stopped it. It goes into 9/11 and Twin Towers and the ritual aspect of it, just like Jake Paul, just like Mike Tyson, the ritual. And so, like, you'll definitely get into it because it might open the doors of what you might see in some of these rituals in your decoding process.
We're gonna have to take a closer look to this shit. Keep an eye on this stuff and make sure that we're on the ball, man. We might end up making predictions that are gonna come true. Yeah, well, let me go see. I was gonna go check out the interaction between Paul and Jack. So let's do that for a moment. I was curious to see what happened here because I wasn't aware. This is prior to when Paul showed up over here, guys.
Used and divided. We become the things that we hate, Paul. Welcome.
Absolutely, but we can't weaponize love in order to put boundaries up to avoid honest. Oh, the fake yawn right off the bat, huh? Wow.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
So do we fake yawn in order to kind of prove to the audience that what the person's saying has no validity? It's kind of manipulative, no?
Well, actually, it is. I've been quite open and have explained my disgust of you.
And I'm open in explaining my perspective because there's two of us here.
Right. You're always offering your bitterness, trying to control the narrative, Paul, but it's not going to happen here. I don't have the patience for you that I actually earlier imagined. I did imagine you joining today, Paul. If you're willing, hey, Paul, if you're willing, I'm resetting. When you and I are able to, when we do align, the audience has fun.
Right, but fun is not the only thing going on here at all times. You can't pigeonhole to one idea in order to keep the rest of reality away from you. That's what disconnects you from others in the conversation.
Oh my God, dude, you're just running away with these false narratives.
You're pushing me away. You're not allowing me to be me and describe my perspective without getting bitter and trying to control the narrative as you just described about me.
Paul, why do you feel it's so important for me to just accept your bitterness?
Why is it so important for me and everyone else here to accept your bitterness? Masquerading as love, by the way, which is really manipulative.
You're a very manipulative young man.
I just said that about you.
I know you love.
You're now deflecting and obfuscating and projecting.
Paul, you're creating arguments for what?
Jack, what's going on right here is exactly why no one wants to deal with you long term. And you claim you don't know why. Are you really this disconnected?
Hello.
Hello.
You're looping again, dude.
You're looping today again.
What am I doing wrong specifically?
You're not working. You're not paying your bills. You're not finding a way to upkeep your life and lifestyle. You're coming on here in some deluded sense of love that no one else around you is feeling or receiving unless they're in an equal delusion. So it's not about doing wrong. It's about you're not doing what you need to be doing for yourself to get the results you ask for.
Listen, dude, you really here. I don't know where to begin.
What woman or child is going to want to?
I don't know where to begin. Doesn't mean that Paul takes over and continues the false narrative. Okay, you've already presented so many conclusions and you do not listen to yourself.
The same.
If you listen to yourself, Paul, like I have been asking and recommending you do, I mean, maybe we could go back and play it back. This little emotional bitch energy coming through, dude. Chill the fuck out.
I'm pretty sure that's you.
Right, but you're often wrong. When it comes to
my
me,
percentages are way better than yours on every level.
Paul, we were just discussing your recent behavior. Can you chill the
No, we were
fuck
discussing
out?
your behavior and you deflected and obfuscated onto me because you can't take accountability.
What the fuck are you doing?
Holy crap. Let's pretend we don't know what's happening right now. Wow, that was so childish and effective. This doesn't work for you anywhere in your life. I don't know why you continue it. It's not like this game and this rap and this delusion work.
Hello. You've already been notified that your narrative was wrong. You've shown you've shown no openness to discuss. Paul, you are not honorable. You are a defamer. You have literally sent people to disrespect me. You have actively campaigned and promoted my failure. You are in denial, brother. You know what, Paul? When you learn to behave better than a child, you'll be respectful. Holy cows. Holy cows. And hold on here. I'm considering what you're saying, and I believe that you are inaccurate. See, what I don't accept is false narratives. I will not enable liars. But obviously, in the past, I have. I have promoted that young man. Proper instruction motivates people. I've promoted that young man and what he's been doing. How dare I? And because of his foolish influence, people follow his way.
Jack, you just kicked me out. Out of love?
Right.
Out of love kick?
Right. You won't control yourself.
I won't be controlled by you.
You won't cooperate with what is happening.
I'm co-creating if you can align with reality.
No, you're not. You're disrupting.
Is there anyone who doesn't get that
Hello,
condition?
Hello.
That label?
Nice deflection. Nice
I'm asking
deflection.
to prove the reality one way or the other. Is there anyone in your life who doesn't not cooperate with you and annoy you? Anyone?
You are, look at you. Golly geez, you are in absolute denial.
This is fucking hilarious.
Holy crap, man. Holy crap. See, what Paul said, though, is a fact. Sorry for these friggin' settings and the disruptions, brothers and sisters. Holy cows, man. Hey, Arpol, you are absolutely right. Every one of my choices are entirely on me. I have given that young fool too many chances. He'll learn. And here's the thing. I plan to succeed regardless of his involvement, despite what that little prick has done, Paul. But here I will honestly admit, let me humble myself. What Paul's little tantrum was about is true. See, he didn't want to look at the facts here in the present, including his behavior and involvement in my experience. He didn't want to see himself, but he wanted to run to opinions of others. Paul, that's exactly what you're doing. You're enabling your bad behavior by opinions of people who aren't even here, but you have a chance that they don't.
Wow. You're now revealing a chance I have. You just completely flipped the power dynamic in the room and now made yourself in charge of my destiny and the opportunity I have. Wow, please reveal to me and everyone else here what that chance and opportunity is. to cooperate with you in your delusion. That's the chance I and everyone else who comes here has. Wow. How's that worked out for you so far?
Is that such a bad thing? You seem mocking.
I do. Just yesterday, I cooperated with you and humored you in your delusion and lack of results. And today I'm pointing out the obvious other side of the coin. We can't deny the duality and polarity that is this experience.
Are we
just
able
because
to
it
get,
makes you feel better? We can't do that.
Are we able to get back to the conversation we were having?
I didn't see a conversation. I saw me attempting to express.
I know. Paul, you're in denial.
That's you.
I know you like to think that.
I know you like to think that.
Parroting me is accomplishing what?
I'm not parroting. I'm pointing out the reflective holographic nature of this experience.
And you're denying any receiving of what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So then I'll continue as though you are.
Great.
So here's the chance, the opportunity that I am pointing out. Partially what you said. You have the opportunity that my son does not. My old union brothers, my old friends. I've got friends that are almost as old as you, man. They forgot what we had. So you have the opportunity to break this. Help me. Help me. There you go. Help me communicate better so that we can get past your standards of me.
No, we have standards for life that are given to us by life. I have attempted to help you see and communicate better. So have many others. And every time we attempt to, you deflect and obfuscate and project and act out on us.
I have reacted to how people have tried helping me in the past.
Right.
I won't deny that. I have grown and improved. Okay. So
I'm not denying that. I'm not making an assessment or a judgment on it. I'm just saying every time we come here every day, life has the same life terms it's going to meet us with. So when I call that out, let's not act shocked. Let's not act like I'm in delusion.
Paul, let me bring up an example of someone who's just like you. Okay.
Okay.
A man, Sean Coleman. He's a man who he and I were best friends for over 30 years. These any pictures of me and Dominic out on the boat, it was Sean's boat, right? It was, the guy's a fucking amazing man. But guess what? When I lost my job, CPA Coleman saw a worthless man who had nothing to offer his son or anyone else. So I was judged based on the misunderstandings from work.
Did he say that, or did you say that about what he did and said?
Yes.
He said to you that you're a worthless man and all the rest of the characterizations you just put forth?
Worse. You don't know what I've experienced, Paul.
I'm not sure how that relates to me, and it's kind of, to me, an obfuscation and deflection. I'm here, you're here, we have our experience. Why do we have to go to some guy
Let me swing
to talk
it back.
about our experience and the truth?
The reason I'm going to some guy is you have been using the opinions of others. Other people couldn't understand you. Other people couldn't agree with you. My best friend, Sean, threw me away because I don't have a fucking job like everyone else.
Most people don't want to be friends or respect someone who can't or won't care for themselves. It's not that you can't, you won't.
Okay, but that's your narrative. Hold on just a moment, please. Welcome, Caucasian Sasquatch.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm improved since yesterday. My dealer gave me a cookie and it went bad.
Hey, welcome, brother. This is actually a perfect opportunity.
Oh, I'm terrified.
I was telling Paul earlier, I made this crazy claim that there's a chance here because there is similarity to how Paul has treated me along with many others. I've been misunderstood for many years. And I realized what I asked for, right? When we finally ask for what we need, holy cows, the universe provides. And what I've been looking to do is to have people help me communicate more clearly, because I've caused a lot of offenses and I've reacted to a lot of people.
You ever considered maybe you care too much?
Yep.
So, like, if you don't care what people think, what you say doesn't affect, what they say doesn't affect you as much as it does if you care.
I had a lot of issues to grow through to allow myself that detachment, that ability. And there's people like Paul and others, very strong characters, who are able to stay more stoic and grounded. And so I've had the blessings of a lot of examples. The reason I reacted was
nothing much, Lou. If you want to
you ever consider you haven't cared enough about what they're saying, whether it's true or not?
You're welcome to.
I could, but I've accepted what others have said. I had anger issues I had to work on, obviously. So what I don't understand is the reality. I've never physically harmed anyone. I've threatened a lot of beliefs, or I've confronted a lot of beliefs, but I've never harmed anyone. And for me to be thrown away, it tells me God has done this, right? God allowed me to become separated from the life I was living. And what was the result? I had nothing left to lose. I got everything to gain. I devoted myself to God. I know God as the truth, but love God and love and life. I know those things are one.
Anything about truth?
Of course, truth is, I know God is truth. I don't claim to know the totality of truth. I don't make conclusions. I offer what I can explain, but I allow the truth to reign supreme over me. It's the facts. We just got to accept the facts. Oh, all of us, this is what we are. We're these organic beings that have evolved here on Earth, and we're translators. That's all that we are. We are translators of consciousness, ideas. We translate the objective reality of form into thoughts and ideas. We translate the real into the truth. We're here to I believe
you're showing your own mind and imagination. You're refusing to live locally on the ground and meet life on life's terms because you're too busy coping in an ethereal, metaphysical realm where you're pretending to have eureka moments like you just did. There's nothing you just said that we haven't gone over or you haven't seen or heard before. You must not have a good memory.
So what? Your narrative of how I live my days was inaccurate. It's not from
Again, it's one big personality game you're playing with yourself and everyone who's witnessing with you. And the quicker you just let it go and drop it is the quicker you're going to get everything you want and need.
Well, here's the thing. What I have not yet found, and this is where, Paul, you have the opportunity. You've played this role. I've been very honest about the similarities in my experience between you, Margot, Snafu, all of these other characters.
Every single person who's interacted with you long term. Yes, pretty much.
It's been bizarre. I don't know why I haven't been accepted.
I know why.
Please.
Greetings, Lou.
You don't remember us having this conversation either, over and over again? That might be the issue here. You might have a really bad memory. And if you got some supplements or whatever and increase that long-term memory, you would remember all these things and all these interactions and how they turned out and why, and you would adjust yourself accordingly to get a different outcome one of these points.
So it's not you in this moment. It's my memory that's the problem.
I've watched you and myself and others go through the same loops over and over again for the same reasons and have nothing change on how it's approached or perceived.
And
leading to the
haven't
same
looked-
results you don't like. I'm
you
okay with the
haven't-
results.
Hello. No, you're in denial.
Okay,
and
you're
would
telling me
add-
what I believe and what my experience is. More narcissistic
No,
projection.
I'm telling you what I am experiencing, and if others are willing, welcome El Perro. You might be he'll be discredited.
El
and
Perro is the person who for 2 years agreed with me on everything, who then switched his perspective.
I know, because you become unbearable. You're not looking at your behavior honestly, Paul.
What I want to know is, at the end of the day, when I'm held accountable, who's going to be there holding me accountable? Paul?
More
or
games.
something else?
More games.
That's what
why
you're
does
doing,
why do we
Paul.
have to choose who's there holding
higher power and objective reality, and the objective reality is everybody believes in a God for the most part.
I don't have a problem with it, Pero. I'll judge you. It's fine.
I don't have any problem with your judgment. It's when we're held accountable.
live,
Who is going to hold me accountable?
No, we missed it live.
Well, here's the
Hold on,
deal.
let me pause
What
this
I've
for a
learned.
second here. No, Paul's live now. I was just kind of reviewing because I missed it, and I wanted to see the interaction and what happened. You know how curious I get when it comes to the interactions between Paul and Jack. But now I'm seeing like even Wizard and all that. So it's
When
like,
did this
yeah,
happen?
it's just about no further than an hour ago, maybe 2. No, but Jack never goes longer than 2 hours. So he went live at what, 5? So 7. So yeah, about an hour ago.
I don't know what the fuck my computer's doing. All kinds of weird shit.
Weird shit, weird dude, weird province.
I don't know. My computer
Makes sense.
My computer's doing. Yeah, my computer's doing fucking weird crap. I don't know what it is. It's like bouncing around. I don't know.
Wow.
Fuck is happening? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Now I can't see nothing. I don't see you. I hear you, but I don't see you.
Yeah, and your camera froze or something. Your image is frozen. I like this little chair because I get to sit like comfortably. So are you still there, Lou? No, now there's no audio. We seem to have lost Lou. Oh, well.
Nobody holds us accountable.
Nobody.
We got to become accountable to the truth for ourselves. And if we're not here for others, we're confused. The only reason we are is to be of service to the rest of the world. Now, what we include in the rest of the world, what we include ourselves with, well, that's where the logic and the ways of the world, it'll tell you to think small.
Hey, thanks for the sub.
Tell you to think only
Howard
about
Dusty.
yourself,
Howard
as
Dusty.
though you're some sort of
Now
God
subscribe
or
to the channel.
judge of everybody else. It'll confuse you.
Franchise.
You
Are
don't
you
have to-
projecting that onto me?
I'm describing you.
Everyone here is claimed to be in alignment with God. Why is it when I do it, I'm the bad, evil, wrong, narcissist, egotist, when I have some level of results on all levels?
Did you want to answer, Sas?
Anyone else want to answer for the bullshit we're projecting and
I
rejecting?
want to
on?
answer. I want to answer, but I wanted to be polite.
I'm agnostic.
Since when?
Well, Paul, the reason that you're brought up is your behavior. You claim to be aligned with God, yet you are so bitter.
When you
so
first met me,
insulting.
when you
can
first
prove-
met me, you had nothing but great things to say about me. Same
I
for this
know.
clown next to me.
I
The
know. I overlooked a lot, Paul. And that's what's been happening for you a lot. People have been enabling you. You want to blame everyone else, and you live, you know what? I'll promote him. If you're interested in gossip, complaining, blaming, and bragging, proper instruction motivates people.
That's you. People have been overlooking a lot with you. They still care for you. They're trying to work with you, but you're a complete fucking clown and joke and delusional.
That's what you want others to believe. And Paul, you're being dishonest.
Holy cows, man.
You know I'm a better man than the way you describe.
Why is it everyone who meets with you in person doesn't want anything to do with you long term?
I'm
You're
talking
a horrible
about
person,
you.
and you refuse.
I'm talking about you.
And being thousands of miles away, how the fuck would you know who he's dealing with on a daily basis? That's my question. You seem to project that you know everything in everybody's life, and that's the bullshit. You do not have such an objective view that you can see me or anybody else and what our life is about. You can only assume. And when you put your assumptions out there, keep going at it. I don't give a fuck. I'm the one that doesn't care, Paul. Fuck you. Fuck my mom and dad. Fuck everybody but Jesus.
Hey, please. Bless you. Thank you for allowing yourself to be interrupted. Okay.
Let me
Brother,
throw my
you've got
can.
anger issues within you too.
No, I have passion. I'm not angry at all.
Hey. I'm not going to accept that. I love you.
You don't have to.
Well, that's why I want you to be honest.
I'm going to
Okay?
jack
You help me see my anger.
To
Okay, you and Nubs and Paul and many others. You and Margot and many others. You guys help me see.
Well, let's put it this way. Maybe I'm just being an asshole, or maybe I'm being the whole ass. It's a level of asinine.
Here's what I want you to consider, brother. I love you.
I got the job.
Okay? You know the words of the scripture. There's a way for you to know greater in your experience, the love of Christ, the love of God. There's a greater love for you. You're just like me. I know this. That's why our paths have crossed. I don't know what Keith, you're a proud man who's very strong. Okay. And that's just like Paul. It's just like me. For us to accept when we're wrong, especially after we've studied and we've learned, for us to find out we were wrong, it can hurt. But here's what I know, brother. You're here to love. No other reason. Just like all of us. That is the reason I trust. I trust. We're here to love. Paul and these other people who trigger us, who disappoint us, who betray us. Paul feels betrayed, but he hasn't looked at his own lack of appreciation or respect yet. And so Paul will eventually learn he's wrong. I had to learn where I was wrong. I had to learn that I was angry. I had to accept and realize that I don't want to be angry. I don't want to yell at people I love. I don't want to be the reason that other people avoid me. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm becoming a better guy as a result of all of this. And if I'm right, we are creating history today, every day. And it makes sense to me that we are. So if we're a part of history, how big, how great could we become if we become the movement, the embodiment of love here on earth at this time? It's got to attract a few people. It's got to be an easier sell. And it doesn't have to be about me.
Doesn't make any sense. If everyone here has issues attracting people, places, and things and success alone, how are they going to do it with others? It makes no sense.
Paul, your narratives are not always right.
Would you like to go down the list for Gizzard and yourself and compare how many places you're exactly the fucking same?
Hello.
Life is not.
You think you're different. You think you're somehow better. Paul, you have become that which you hate. If you hate me, why don't you try and figure out how to become more like me? You'll get over your fucking bitterness.
I'm Caucasian. How long you know me, brother? About 8 years?
7, I think, 6.
Am I better today than I was 7 years ago?
I only know you as a character on the screen, but yeah, I'd say you're a little more rational. I mean, definitely since the heckle bus days, man. I mean, he used to come in straight hot off the top heckle bus. He'd just start screaming. He'd be like, live stream and go.
That was that 1.5 year Zoom shit.
Dude, that was wild.
So the thing is that the more people I've met on this metaverse, it's just like out in real life. You have to get to know people. On this metaverse, it's a different thing. When you get to know people, it's not knowing them the same way as in real life. In getting to know people on this metaverse, I realized I had to learn myself because that's where I was fucking up. That's why I wasn't able to make the acquaintances on this metaverse, because of my attitude and shit. And that's not something that's going to change overnight, and it's shown that it's not changed overnight. It's not ever going to be perfected, I don't think, but I will constantly work on it. That's for me. That's my accountability, and that's the best I could do, folks.
We can all do better, particularly once we start allowing ourselves to learn, allowing ourselves to become better. Because El Perro, what may seem difficult can often be simple, you know, particularly if we've got the right goal, we got a clear vision of what we're accomplishing. I want to bring us back to the present, though. Okay? Paul is still in the back. The quote-unquote honorable judge unslaved. I was actually thinking about him recently because long ago I'd offered Paul the opportunity for he and I to collaborate, to really execute the proper instruction, motivates people, because he talks the talk. He says a lot of the right words. He knows the right things, but he lacks the embodiment of an honest man. He presents as a character online who has he thinks he's got no consequences for what he's done. But back to the point, proper instruction motivates people. What is proper? How is the proper way to offer forth instructions with other people? You know, if Paul can cooperate with a conversation.
Once again, we're appealing to the tonality rather than the information and the facts and the truth.
What are the facts?
The way that information, truth, and facts is offered is based on what is believed to be necessary and proper by the projector, if you will, the presenter. So again, why we're ignoring the facts and the virtuousness of the truth and cause and effect for the way it's delivered is, to me, disingenuous. It's obfuscating. It's deflecting. Kind of like when Keith just went to someone he's known on the internet for 7 years to describe how he's gotten better than how he was. So he's less of a loser failure, but still not on a path of success and co-creation.
Okay, Paul, can we discuss some of your conclusions?
If you're in the race, then you're still in the race, right? And you're the one that agrees that nobody, that we aren't actually equal. Yet you're the one standing here trying to hold everybody accountable to your standard.
To the standard of cause and effect and truth. There's no my standard and your standard. You want to live by your standard and ignore the standard of truth, life on life's terms.
Paul,
that's our problem here. You all think there's a your truth and my truth. There's not.
Right now, you are my problem.
No,
Okay, so
the fact that you can't.
Hello. The fact that I can't finish a statement shows your lack of self-control. Sasquatch?
Yeah, I only have really one thing to agree with Paul on. There is no your truth, my truth, and some other truth. There's truth, and then there's everything else people talk
Right.
about.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
And what Paul is not accepting is denial. The truth exists. Even though Paul won't accept the truth or look for a truth different than what his conclusion is, he's in denial.
I'm not throwing shade on someone else's beliefs. They're perfectly welcome to believe and act on those beliefs as they see fit. But if you drop a rock, it falls.
Okay, but here, Caucasian, where I'm trying to get at is Paul's behavior. In the conversation, I was trying to get his permission to have a conversation, right? Because I'm tired of him taking over and wanting to be the judge, the jury, the executioner of everything. He's out of his mind. So what I'm pointing at is the facts of Paul's behavior. With what you just said, yes, it is true. Everyone can believe whatever they want. They're going to behave based on their belief. And what I've observed is the world is corrupted because of enablers. I don't want to enable Paul's bitterness, and I don't want to enable his patterns of argument when I know that we can find a resolve through conversation.
Why do we have to agree? Why do we have to agree?
Because your behavior has been
You don't like it. You're not getting what you want. That's the answer why it has to be controlled and changed, because you don't like it and you're not getting what Jackie Boy wants.
Should I like
answer properly?
Yeah, Paul, you're right. So what? I don't want your bitterness. I don't want your false narrative. Here, I've got Hank here as well.
I'm sorry, Hank.
So why are you still fighting Pussy Paul for dominance, trying to change his behavior? Just leave him be.
Okay, that's an option. If you look at what I've been doing, it would show you that I've been attempting to find resolve. And I know you think that maybe it's impossible to change someone's mind, but I've been successful in the past, particularly when I've had a witness. It's easy to have conversations when people cooperate. But
I've been the witness with you and Paul for months now, so I think the rest of you just have him speak crazy over there.
Well, I know it didn't succeed in the past, but what I saw is you joined in trying to prove him wrong or trying to prove me wrong. But regardless, just because we don't succeed at something in the past doesn't mean we can't do it again. And no offense, El Perro, I put you in the back because I know you and Paul will just go at each other, okay?
I'm fine, Jack. That's why I was keeping it very short and sweet. Sorry if I got loud, but
part of it too is he will quickly deflect. You know, he likes to attack. But what I am attempting to do, if you guys are, please be willing, I'm trying to have an adult conversation with another adult, Paul Unslaved, right now. Because if I can successfully change the mind of one person, well, then I think I will gain more credibility. And Paul,
if you engage in an egocentric dynamic to change a person and ignore the truth that's being spoken, you're going to gain more credibility. Fascinating conclusion, Mr. Life Coach Guru. You're amazing at what you do.
You don't care about the accuracy of your narratives. You just flap your gums.
Take
It's
another
amazing.
hit, Keith. Cope it out.
Paul.
Here's an idea. Let's try changing Caucasian Sasquatch's mind instead. Let's work on him.
Let's try changing Jack's mind so he can change his life and results, and he can stop bitching and complaining and pretending to be in non-loving relationships and be happy.
Paul, you're clearly not listening to me. How do you come to
I'm listening to you.
How do you come to such opposite conclusions of what I say? You're gaslighting. Does anyone here? Okay, right now, Paul claims that I come online and I only complain and blame and I'm miserable. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
You know, Jack, I've heard a lot of your streams, and I would have to agree with that in a sense. But I also have to make the statement that I've heard you say a lot of things that were very positive, kind of unique even, and very motivating, I think. I think if there was a little tweak to you, you would have a great motivational program. You have this seeking of God that I don't see in many other people. Constantly.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Please be patient for just a moment. Holy cows. Am I happy, Jack? Clearly there has been some misunderstandings about my state of being. How? I do not understand. So let me be as clear and precise as I possibly can about what it's like to be Jack Talcott in this present day. Brothers and sisters. There went the camera again. I truly don't know here. Oh, I got distracted. Let me try this again. To be very clear about the state of being, the topic of today. I started earlier than I normally do. I mean, considerably early. I'm doing the vertical stream today. I started this stream saying that the future I envision, the world is filled with love, that I am a part of that you are a part of that we are a part of bringing more love into this world in real form, beyond the words, but through the deeds, through the actions, through the kindness, the joy. We allow the Holy Spirit to lead us all. So, are you happy, Jack? I've said this so many times. I can explain how I've achieved this to anyone who wants to try and experience it themselves. But my body, here and now, there's a pulsation of physical pleasure. It's like a tingling. It's a vibration that just flows. When I close my eyes, I can feel nirvana and bliss in this present moment. I didn't know living life could feel good. I had overlooked all the great ways that life feels good through appreciation, through hope, through imagination, through love. Love brings a wholeness into our being. It brings an imbalance into balance. It'll right the wrongs. Love is the way that Jesus taught. It explained me. So, brothers and sisters, I've made mistakes in the past. I learned I had a lot of anger hidden behind my insecurities and my shame. And all those things went together. But what I've been learning sincerely is the mental practice of surrender.
Of insanity.
It's an immediate path to reach the path of the state of enlightenment. The state of enlightenment is simply a mind that is filled with the light of God, with the awareness of the light of God. The love of God is here and present, and the path is immediate. As soon as that state is achieved and that bliss can be realized, well, then the practice begins. The idea is just to bring that into being, the state of love, the state of presence and loving awareness. We allow that to become the human being who we are. So, am I happy?
No.
Despite the narratives?
It's a bliss cope.
So fucking happy. No, Paul.
You're not fulfilled with your life and you're not happy with your day-to-day life. We know that because you've said it. It's a bliss cope.
Oh, here's the thing. You're wrong, Paul. You're literally describing you. You claim that you're so successful, that you're so achieving so much and living so righteously, yet 7 days a week, it's bitterness, gossip, complaining, and it's overshadowing your talent, Paul.
So, I'm going to be very serious with you, Jack. Was this your best attempt to win Paul over?
Does that matter?
Well, I guess not. I'm just going to leave and see what happens.
Much love, Hank.
And if y'all could just see the chat in the private chat up here, it's all Paul. Just so you know, facetious motherfucker. Excuse my language.
Please. Here, what I've learned, Keith, you and Paul are similar roles for me. Okay? Both of you were educated in ways that I had not grown. You know, you helped me develop in different ways, but anger, we've all been sharing our patterns of anger with each other. That's how we met. That's, if we're honest and we detach ourselves from it without judgment, what I see, the way we met, and it has improved since then, but it was a place for people to sit around and enable each other, blame and complain for entertainment. We lacked purpose. Some of us. Paul could hide behind the fact that he gets contributions and his name's on it, so he can call it entertainment and broadcasting, and he can reap the rewards. But it was seriously, it was a hangout spot for people to be angry with each other. What Hank asked, was this my best attempt at trying to make resolve with Paul? I've improved. I can do nothing on my own. Paul likes to go to opinions. He likes to go to the opinions of people who aren't here. He's selectively
Keith, you just lied
remembered.
again, Keith. It's myself and Sasquatch having it back and forth. You won't engage with me because you won't be accountable to life on life's terms. You're too busy running even right in front of me.
Well,
You're a coward and a liar.
The context is that you were running your mouth and chat about me and Jack because you don't want to say it on panel.
You're a coward and a liar, Keith, and you better find a new daddy for your next 5,000 when you're going to die again because you don't work or have any value.
So how am I uncomfortable?
You don't work or have any value. You're too busy squandering your whole life and everything you've lived and been given.
Hey, Paul.
Like so many here.
Where are you not a coward or liar? I know you got examples of your confronting other people and arguing.
Where am I not a coward and a liar? I
Well,
don't know.
you've
Go to
been
the
a
last 6
liar.
arrests and the last 6 court presentments if you can't find any other experiences.
You seem to hide from love and honesty.
There we go. Back to the weaponized love. That's your go-to.
No, I'm
Gaslighter.
I'm offering you a thought for you to consider, and you returned with attacks.
Right.
Of my
I love
character.
you and Keith. I don't respect you. Neither do your women and children. That's why they ran from you and won't
Hey,
deal
Paul,
with you.
I know you love to point out
Love you,
the
can't
flaws of
respect
others.
you because you're lying, untrustworthy, lazy.
You can do anything you want. Do you have an opinion on any of this, Sasquatch?
Honestly, the amount of vitriol that's just laying around in bowls to be tossed around absolutely astounds me. I don't understand why people have to take things so terribly personal when it's just a handful of words that other people have said. And you can go, that's not true, and move on with your life, or you can focus on it and make content. I don't know. I don't understand. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm observing. If I understood, I'd be like, oh, that's it, and I'd leave because it'd be boring then. But it's not boring. I am entertained. I'm here to see how this pans out.
I'm like Sasquatch in that.
What if?
Is there anything you hate about me? Anything?
Well, what if there's another? I mean, I see an opportunity that you didn't catch, an opportunity that could include you. There's clearly disagreements going on between Paul and I. It's been a long running loop of his. Now, I have been guilty of allowing it to continue. I continually try to get him to see that his conclusions about me are wrong. And brother, this is where, even though we did the Sasquatch shill thing, I don't know that you really have considered the possibility of what's happening with me.
Oh, sure. I have. It's possible that you're the second coming of Christ. You're going to bring everything about, and we will end all wars and stuff like that. I do not count that as an impossibility, and I'm totally 10 toes down for it, bro. If that's the direction this starts going, I'm all about that shit, bro. Like, I cannot tell you how much peace is an amazing thing. Humans typically are not peaceful, as demonstrated by today's stream. That being said, I don't really have any evidence in any direction. I've met most of y'all within the past, couple of years. I've had a few interactions with a few of y'all, and I don't really know enough in my own experience to be able to make a conscientious and safe distinction between right, wrong. I'm going to use the words "my truth," and it's probably because I'm going to lie to you immediately after I say it. But my truth is short observation. I have not seen enough to convince me one thing or another thing, right? I'm more of a do what the nice officer tells you to type, right? I'm more of a pay my taxes on time and not get audited type. I don't know. That's just me, bro. Maybe you can change that.
I hope to. I hope to expand your ideas of what might be possible. Because how do we know when we've learned enough? How do we know when?
Hands down, no such thing. You cannot ever learn enough to be satisfied with your own distinctions, because at least in my experience, as soon as I learn more, I find out about more stuff that I didn't know.
Yes, me as well. And so this is where the amount I've learned has truly blown my mind. And I look forward to the day when my son returns, 22-year-old young father. Man, I've learned so much since he was with me. I can offer so much, but the more I've learned about the world and what I've thought I knew, the more humble I've become. And allowing ourselves to be humble, to admit, maybe this sounds the same as something I've heard before, but maybe it's different. Allowing us to continue learning is such an important thing. Paul left. What I've been attempting to do with that young man, since he won't have conversations with me like a man privately, I've been trying to publicly get him to see his own behavior. There's been a lot of people enabling each other. He's left, though. Welcome to you, brothers. I appreciate it.
That's good.
Thanks, Jack. I appreciate that.
What's happening, Jackson?
Well, Scott, it's still the same story. What's Jack gonna do, man? He's still got the same purpose as the men and women of Veterans for Peace. I share a similar purpose to many of the pastors and church leaders of the day. I carry the message of many environmentalists, many groups for social justice. I carry those ideas with me every day.
Oh.
And I think a better world is waiting for us. Welcome.
We lost Matt Gates today. I'm depressed.
I don't know what that is.
Just pop one of those pills, Scotch. Pull on your very long, luxurious hair and move on with your life. You'll be all right.
Thanks for noticing my hair, big guy. I really appreciate that. So, no, I really don't care about politics. As El Perro will probably tell you as quickly as anybody, it's all bullshit and fucking theater anyways.
Well,
But,
Scott, sorry to interrupt, but you're bringing up, yes, it is something that we are aware of. So what if there's opportunities for us to jump into that show, to bring a different perspective, a voice, right?
There is, but this is the opportunity, and you just have to do a better show than them, because the narrative is what sells. It's always what sells. They're creating fucking better and better narratives to top each other's bullshit narratives. And
I'm not worried about what they're doing. I'm wondering about what I can do and what I see as possible. I'm on here doing what you're saying. I'm trying different ideas. You know, I'm doing the vertical streaming today, hoping to catch and maybe increase the number of viewers. I'm hoping to become a greater influence in this world. Now, why I've been attracting a bunch of people who want to diminish me or oppose me really makes me wonder.
And that's because people are out there like the gal down in chat there talking about how you're supposedly projecting that you're the world's savior. I don't think Jack has ever projected that he's the world's savior. I think that was a projection from other people that were listening to him, thought he was speaking bullshit, and made that projection.
Well, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks. What matters is, what do the facts show? I do not think I am a savior in any sort, but what my prayer is, I've said this before, I want to follow the way of Jesus. As I understand, the way he lived his life was to glorify the Father in heaven. Well, if I could live a life that glorifies the choices and the sacrifice of Jesus, well, wouldn't that mean trying to become a leader of today? I've received the experience. I've invested in my studies, my attention. I understand far more than some of these ignorant asshats like Paulie Boy want to proclaim, right? So despite what the record has shown of my life, what I see the record as, since 2018, when my life transformed, I started my individual pursuit for God, and it's a beautiful story. But since 2018, I have been living where I used to live. Same body, same car, same house. But I've been doing it without friends, without family, without an income, without a job or security. But somehow, you know, like the scripture says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, all things shall be provided. I think my life is evidence of that. And don't get me wrong, it's not from a lack of effort. But since 2018, I have given when it hurt. I've invited strangers in from the cold. I've offered shelter. I've shared meals with all sorts of people. I've given in this world, and there's plenty of evidence of me. But what I've not found is people's willingness to look.
Jack, can I make a suggestion, maybe even comment and an observation? The other day when I saw Rachel Wilson, are you familiar with her at all now that you had her come up? She's Andrew's wife, you know that.
I do know.
And have you listened to her? And her intellect is pretty astounding. I'm actually a very big fan of hers. And my thought was, as soon as I heard you say that, some of the stuff to her, I wanted to come in and try and smooth things over and hope to keep her on your platform for a little while, because if you would have, probably leaned into the interchange or exchange a little bit more, I think it would have ended well. I think it would have been, because she just needed a little coaxing from someone to let her know that you were going to be receptive, and I think she would have calmed down. She was a little bit, if you go back and listen to it, she was a little bit pushy, but at that point, I think that she felt that way too, like there was a give and take. But going forward, I think that you have done a great deal of growing, and I think that does threaten some people out there. They do feel like, if he's getting better, well, where does it leave me? Now, with that said, that doesn't mean there's not a lot of room left for growth. Okay. And where I would say it is being receptive and open to other people. So if you want to be like Christ, you got to go ahead and listen to the bullshit too. And if you thought Rachel was bullshit, if you would have listened for another, say 10 minutes and tried to give her a fair shake, she would have probably taken you on a journey that all of us could probably enjoy. No, you don't think so?
Nope. I can understand why you think what you think, why you say what you say. But what people have not considered is my value. So for me to continue a live stream where it's under my name, I'm doing this for my purpose, for me to continue to allow just egoic rambling. That's what the egos do. They love to vent and offer all sorts of stories.
And I, for one, have to object, Jack. I do care about. I do show that I respect you. I didn't at first, but that's the thing. You do have value, and that's what I recognize. That's why I changed. I wouldn't change if I didn't see that value in you, Jack.
You definitely have value, but there's no way that she was going to glean that in a short time unless you would have settled down and said, okay, well, I can understand that you don't get where I'm coming from. Let me approach you a different way, rather than there's no way to
Scott,
go ahead.
Right. I know we can spend hours talking about what I did wrong and ways
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying the approach could have been different.
Absolutely. No denying. I agreed with everything you said. Now, why I did what I did, I saw no openness from her, and I saw her being enabled by Easy. And so since I saw myself as kind of two opposing one, I didn't hold a lot of hope in continuing the conversation.
I'm 100% with you.
Take over.
I 100% agree. That's why I came up, to try and level the playing field a little bit. I literally came up for that reason and that reason alone, because Easy wasn't helping you. He was just being a dipshit that he is, and that wasn't what you needed there if you wanted to befriend her at all. And that was, so I did. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Well, a lesson I was reminded of: we don't get a second chance to make a first impression, so I was not happy with myself. I was very frustrated with the way things went, and I think by the time you arrived, even with your good intentions, I was done. But
fair enough. I mean, and it's understandable because you were frustrated. But hindsight being 2020, just remember the next time, if somebody's not agreeing with you and they're new to your fold, it's not that they can't agree with you. It's just that they haven't seen a pathway to do so.
I understand that. And here's the other side of my experience, though. I have spent so much time listening to people who are offering nothing helpful. They just, and they're not even willing to think different than what they think. They just want to be heard. And especially online, that's what people do. They want to be heard. But when my purpose is, as I said, to try and find a way, despite the fact I don't have the numbers, I don't have the accreditation, despite all the conditions against my success, I hope to be a part of carrying the message of Veterans for Peace, maybe achieving the goal, because I actually think the world is ready for reforms and change. Not in the world I've experienced. I mean, I've met a lot of people convinced they already know better than me and that I need to listen to them. But I'm the one who's saying, hey, let's follow the way of Christ and expose the corruption, become a part of the solution of today. I didn't think it would be such a tough sell. I really didn't. And that's probably where my frustration has come from. And plus, I know there's plenty of people who will confirm my words. I am a lovable guy. I can be very fun to be around. Why people don't want to allow me to be lovable guy or fun to be around? I mean, look at Paulie Boy. He comes in with his bitterness, got to prove himself right. Got to make sure everyone knows Jack deserves the way everyone treated him. That's why Paulie does it.
Jack, Paul's going to come to you when he wants something from you, and when he can't get it, he's going to turn on you.
I saw that's the ways of the ego. It's the selfish conditioning of our world.
As soon as he can't get what he wants, then something's wrong with you, and you should be admonished.
Well, I've seen Paul's level of compassion. He cares deeply, especially about the helpless, right? Kids and well, those who he approved of. He cares deeply. But this is the world we live in. We're all in this life together. My life, the old Jack that people who enjoyed having around, my life changed. And I said on the live stream yesterday, when I go live, this actually is my community, because for whatever reason, I have been misunderstood and avoided by people in the past. I don't know what to do, but I do know that love is the answer. I feel blessed to have learned what I've learned. And I really hope others can discover the kingdom of heaven, become the body, the universe of heaven by cleansing yourself of the impurities. And the impurities are the self-sabotage, the limiting thoughts. We live in this paradigm where...
But that's what you just did to yourself, Jack. You just literally said the people of your past don't want anything to do with you. And I think that that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, because you're on a different wavelength. You're on a different frequency and vibration. You need to go out and seek out new people who are on that frequency that you're on in trying to save the planet, save the whales, save the children, whatever it may be. There's people.
That's how I met you. That's how I met you.
I get it, but your
Scott,
plan around Seattle is I think
Scott,
not working.
What you're not getting, I love you, I really do. I'm actually wondering, maybe I should start wrapping this up soon, but what you're not seeing, brother, is us. People have created separations and distances from me, and there is no us with Jack. It's only been Jack. And I'm not complaining, but I'm sincere and honest. If I'm given a chance, I tell you what, miracles happen People can transform, people can overcome past issues. People can change. And I've learned a lot to know that miracles happen. I believe I know how miracles may happen. I have ideas of which miracles might happen, but it's all in God's time. And the reality is, Scott, our paths crossed for a reason. There's a purpose to everything that happens every day. I'm convinced of that. And our paths, I've been saying, and Scott, you know, entertainment. I was thinking this earlier. I already have like this story, man, this life story. It is priceless. The adventures I've been living. I mean, because seriously, I set out in 2018 with the idea that I could improve the whole postal service. Yeah, that sounds egoic. That sounds